Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review for The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 20, Splinter. And we're here tonight to talk about this episode. And if you have your thoughts, please share them. You can call in at 781-990-8509. Also, make sure you subscribe, like this video, all that fun stuff if you're enjoying The Walking Dead discussions or any of our discussions this year. A lot more fun shows to talk about, and we'll continue talking about The Walking Dead as well. Now, coming off last week's, what I would say, interesting episode, we're going to get into talking all about this episode. I have some fun stuff. This was a red letter date in Walking Dead history. The first episode we've ever had of The Walking Dead where no one dies, not a walker or a human, no deaths, nothing.
There's not a single time.
In fact, nothing happened in this episode. Well, we'll get into it in a bit. But we're back tonight, and of course, we're not alone. We have with us the live motherfucking chat. We got Jason Voorhees, Atari Dad, Jasmine Breaking Bat, the chat attack, Nick Diaz. Jason Voorhees he killed extra campers tonight because of this episode. It threw him off balance. And I also was looking at the Walking Dead Facebook page, which is usually an echo chamber of love, and I want to read a couple of the messages coming off this episode. But I want to be fair before I bring in my co-host Joe Dirty Locks here in a second. Looking at these 6 episodes, it's almost sometimes less is more. These are an extra 6 episodes that were filmed with some strange conditions comparatively to the rest of season 10. And I'm sort of at that point where I'm half wondering if they shouldn't have done these, or maybe instead of doing 6, they could have done 4 and combine a couple of these storylines into singular episodes. I did not like this episode, and especially coming off last week's episode, which I really liked. And I know, but the thing is, people that don't like last week's episode 2, it's the same problem as the last 3. They're slow breakdown episodes where we're getting inside characters. I happen to enjoy the acting last week, but for someone that wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid, I can understand last week had the same problem too. It was just performed better. And I think with this episode, it was just kind of lazy. And this has nothing against the actress that plays Princess. I think she pulled off what they gave her in this episode to do, but I think it was just nothing happened. This was absolutely a B story of what it should have been a better episode. This was one of the most boring episodes of The Walking Dead. Not just because you're copying Fight Club and The Deer Hunter doesn't make you clever. The writing in this episode was weak compared to last week's, which was actually clever. And I don't know. This episode was.
I mean, come on. Okay.
This was horse shit, Joe. This was horse shit. I'm gonna stop
you right there.
Horse shit.
You're calling out the bullshit of this week's episode based on the Deer Hunter and what else did you mention there?
Oh, I said like they're trying to copy Fight Club in this episode.
But come on, let's not pretend like the ending of last week's episode hasn't been done 100 million times in 100 million different fucking things as well.
Fair.
It was done well. I happen to think Princess, like you said, you're not going to knock her acting. I think she did a good job acting.
Yeah, she did a good job.
She's not my favorite character because, of course, we don't know her. She's had all of about 5 lines. So, of course, we're going to have this episode about her if she's going to become a staple at some point, like we do all of our characters. This one I kind of liked. This is actually our first one where they're establishing some sort of, like, I'm not saying it was great. I liked it because they're establishing that she has issues.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And Katie, so me and Katie, we're like, really? They didn't check out what? Okay. Katie's like, I thought Ezekiel seemed a little weird. He wasn't acting right. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, there was some aspects of this episode.
You were gonna say that. You were gonna say this shit.
You could tell that's where we were. Like, that's what was going. I didn't quite catch it until it happened. I gotta say, it's one of the first times
in
really
fairness,
happened.
Just to take that, I mean, I'm on the opposite side of this. This episode was boring as shit to me, and I kind of
don't get me wrong, it was boring. It was. I am not saying it wasn't boring. Like, it was very boring. Yes.
And I kind of figured it out at one point towards the beginning half of the episode. That being said, exactly what I said at the beginning. Each one of these episodes are ultimately the same. It's like it's almost the same thing, different actors for a lot of these ones going on right now. And if I dug last week's because of the setup of the actors and because of the situation. I dug last week's episode. This week, it wasn't much different in what they were trying to do. And I guess I just feel, and I'll say it probably 1,000 times tonight as far as we can do it, that some of these would have been, and I understand the restrictions that they had to filming it, but that doesn't mean they had to have the same restrictions for post-production. And a couple of these things that they have done with these episodes did not need to be whole episodes dedicated to single characters. This could have been coupled with the Daryl episode, maybe
if they took out the Carol shit. But then you're talking about two vastly different storylines going on.
Right. No, I hear you. But you think this episode was solid enough to carry a whole episode? I mean, it did. And that's my problem with this episode. Isn't that the stuff in it was necessarily bad, is that it was boring and there wasn't something more exciting as the B storyline to it that was keeping it going and keeping me engaged in the story. There needed to be something else going on to cut away. And I just don't think it was strong enough being centralized onto her alone. Maybe if we had taken a break and seen some of our other characters' perspectives for a second, seen Ezekiel but to your point,
it should. I believe it should have been more group focused, of the group of them. Maybe more focused on, I don't know. See, you start torturing her, and who cares, right? Because we don't know her.
Right, and you hit it on and I said that all over the notes. We don't know her yet enough to. Okay, getting to know her is one thing. Having an episode in the middle of a run where we're getting deeper kind of characters we know or understand and what it's trying to be. I don't think it didn't do enough for me to get to know her in this episode, other than to understand some of her points. The actress, I think, definitely did pull it off. Let's see what the live motherfucking chat says. Jason Voorhees hated this episode. Weak ass version of Fight Club. Siren Thomas, great to see Siren Thomas. Thank you for checking on in, Siren. Awesome to see you popping on. And we got The Walking David, who will be with us next week to talk about the penultimate episode of season 10 of The Walking Dead. Then we'll have Joe back for the season finale, the Negan episode, which I think most people are looking forward to. We got Ian in the live chat. Jason, Walking Dead advent character should include a day that has a pillow in it for sleeping days like this. At first I thought this episode was cutting my wrist, but it turns out I was cutting my own wrist, says David. And Atari Dad says, I thought this was better than the Daryl episode. Honestly, after the Saviors and the Whispers, I'm just glad we're getting some believable villains now. Or
That's
maybe
actually really clever, Walking David. Especially for the episode we just had. Good job.
And Atari Dad also adds, I just had a crazy idea. Why didn't they just make these last few episodes of the season half-an-hour episodes? It would have fit with the restrictions and dragged less. I think that's also a very interesting idea that wouldn't have been bad. Or
that would have turned them into webisodes. They wouldn't have got the advertising revenue they need out of them.
So switch it up like this. I was just gonna alter Atari Dad's point to fit my point of what I want, and that's, you set it up like you have these different stories. Like I said, you couple the Daryl story in this story, but you have them both be 20 minutes, and then you have it be like an anthology episode where you have two different stories. Story one, Daryl's story. Story two, Princess, and you just title it as, Prince. This episode is like split in multiple parts, and they're completely different stories separated, but each individual character stories. That way they don't have to pad out the time. Because I feel like, unlike last week, the difference between last week and I think the first episode too, the Maggie episode, and last week with Father Gabriel and Aaron and the Terminator. I think the Terminator made it too, but I think what worked in those first episode and that one was the pacing. I think the Daryl episode and this one both felt, to me anyways, a little padded out because they needed to fill out the entire runtime. So we repeated a couple of themes we didn't necessarily need to repeat.
And on top of that, I gotta say, like, the commercials.
Too many. Oh fuck.
Oh my fuck.
Dude.
You're getting like 5 minutes of show and 7 minutes of commercials towards the end. 3 minutes of show, 7 minutes of commercial. Like, it's really out of hand.
Oh, and don't forget, as Ian pointed out in the live chat, don't forget the 15 minutes of Eugene in this. Why wasn't it Princess? I know I'm good. I'm getting really nitpicky here, but each one of our intros have been generally of one of the main characters of the particular episode. The first one we got Maggie. The second one we got Daryl doing the speech. Last week we got, I think it was Gabriel that did it, or Aaron. In this episode we got Eugene doing the intro instead of Princess. Eugene, we met these people and we know the thing. We gotta do the thing. We gotta do the bird.
Last week they were straight fucking trolling us, Phil. Last week was a straight fucking AMC troll job on Phil the Issues Guy show, right? What caused the whole problem last week? Where did all the tension and conflict come from last week?
The Terminator?
At what point? Right. And how did the Terminator get introduced, Phil? What were they doing?
They were drinking, right? Or no, they were drinking or eating.
Right, and that's rule number 2, right? What's rule number 1? You never leave your shit buddy behind. So they got drunk, and motherfucker walked out of the room and was like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Joe, you're totally right.
And we had mentioned that the week or 2 weeks before about not leaving your shit buddy and not drinking during the apocalypse.
Joe,
right?
You're totally right. It was a shit buddy situation. It was absolutely a shit buddy.
Absolutely a shit buddy fucking situation.
It was
as soon as that shit went down, I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, the two of them, they secured the place, one drink, look at father me putting little bits in there, that's okay. Then they start going back and forth. They finish off the fucking bottle. You have now broken the rules.
Yeah,
then you broke more rules. Your shit buddy, you left him right behind.
He didn't even follow him out there. He even woke up.
Nope.
He even woke up in the middle of the night to do his shit buddy service, and then he failed at it.
And then he rolled back over. He's like, nope.
Yep. He failed at his shit buddy service.
Where's he going? Dude, he said he had to piss. Turn around and piss in the fucking corner. Yeah, what do you want, a hill?
They're not showering and sanitizing.
You're leaving, and like as soon as you wake up, you're like, this room smells like piss. Let's go.
Yeah. It's like Christopher and Polly in the woods. We're not in the mafia right now. We're just two idiots lost in the woods. So I'll piss anywhere I want.
Exactly. Right? Come on. Where's he going? Is he going to find a bathroom?
Ellie is like, this was a bonus episode. Yeah, this is the bonus episode. This is like getting a birthday gift of a big pile of shit. It's like I don't right in the halfway point.
So maybe they gave us the Daryl episode. Then they
Can we just talk about last week's episode some more?
Episode, and then they gave us this episode. So right, they're giving us like a really bad episode, so that way the mediocre episode that follows it feels really good.
I think they're in the backstory to Shit Buddies is, and I'll try to find the link at some point before the end of the show. Atari Dad, there is a video on the channel from a couple of years ago called "What You Should Do in a Zombie Apocalypse" or something, and it's a little movie that Joe, myself, and JC, John C. Reilly made about making sure you always in the zombie apocalypse have your shit buddy.
You don't go take a shit alone. You don't. I'll be back in a few minutes with my pants down behind a tree where nobody can see me, where the stealth zombies always pop out of the fucking ground. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I will.
No marauders around. Nobody gonna rape me behind a tree. Nobody gonna drag me off to nowhere. Don't worry about it.
Don't have to worry. Make sure you have your shit buddy.
It takes me like 45 minutes to push out a fucking growler. I'm gonna be sitting over there behind a fucking tree. Come on now. I mean, maybe my dial will be a little bit better, so things will move a little bit faster. But still, like,
oh, I forgot about what.
Sorry, somebody go stand there.
Joe, I forgot about what was in Joe's box. Here we go. I got it right here. I'll throw the link in the chat in a second here. And for anyone who wants to check out the Shit Buddies video, here you go. Let me copy the link address and put it in.
Is it in the box?
Yeah, the real John C. Reilly. That's why he changed his name so many times. But yeah, there's the Shit Buddy video if you want to check that out. The intros are because, David says, they know they have lost a lot of their core audience, and they're assuming people are watching random episodes to see if the show got any better.
Yep.
And Jason also adds, Eugene was probably spying on Princess while he Vince Vaughned himself. Atari Dad says, they started about 15 minutes late, and I tend to rewind when I miss a line, so I'm able to skip through the commercials. And I watched... It's released on AMC's stupid service, their online service.
$3 a month or some shit.
Their $3 a month stuff. And so the night before it comes out and then it goes on all the
No, it was
the
on
pirate
all
waters.
week. It was up all week.
Oh, is it?
Was showing? It was showing available to watch all week on my YouTube app, but I don't subscribe to AMC for like the extra shit like that.
I sail the pirate waters, and I usually watch it on Saturday night to take notes early. But I was kind of in a weird. I was extra tired last night, so I went to watch it this morning and take notes. And I'll be honest about this episode. I stopped taking notes halfway through. I think Joe and I are gonna pause and just talk about the Justice League Snyder cut or something.
I watched that shit.
Yeah, I did too. I don't, you want to change this around? And just talk about that in a second.
I mean, what? I mean, there's not much more about this. She was in a crate. She talked to imaginary Ezekiel. She beat up little boy dude who was actually setting her up to see what kind of a person she is. If they're making it look like, oh, they're gonna like shoot all these people out there, but I think that was the test, right? Maybe the kid was right. We're going to send somebody in there. If she beats you up and kills you, guess what?
And ladies and gentlemen,
we're going to kill all them. If she doesn't kill you, maybe we'll bring them back.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the recap. That was the recap. It's over. We're leaving now. Oh, we got a voicemail from David. Let's play our voicemail from The Walking David. And if you guys have a voicemail, make sure you want to leave that at 781-990-8509. Actually, we will be talking about this episode a little bit more, all kidding aside. But there's only so much. I agree. It's one of those episodes that there's only so much we can talk about here. But let's play David's message right here.
Previously on The Walking Dead. Gabriel slept too long, and so he wasn't available to be Aaron's ship buddy. But then in this recent episode, Ezekiel comes from out of nowhere to be a ship buddy. But the problem is nobody knew to go number 2. So, who will be the ship buddy this week? Tune in. The Walking Dead.
But it's amazing stuff as usual from David giving us a Eugene impression. But I want to see more of Eugene. I'm gonna make Eugene co-host with me next week. But a good point though. Like I was almost taken out of it with Eugene doing the last week. It almost made it set up for like a comedy episode at the beginning. Last week on The Walking Dead, like right when it started, it was almost comical. I didn't capture any audio clips today just because again I started to zone out. I'm like I'm not capturing audio clips of this shit. I want to see the Gimple cut in this episode. Give us the Gimple cut. Oh, and I saw Angela Chang talking about this episode afterwards. She's like, it's so not usual being in one spot shooting an episode. This is so much slower of an episode than we're usually used to shoot. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. You knew it was boring too. Basically what you're saying in that after, like that Dan and Dave after episode bullshit that they make the Walking Dead show creator do now on those AMC specials to try to make it worth paying extra for basic cable channel. So they're giving you the moment with the show creator. So she's given her a little 5-minute like synopsis of how awesome she thought this episode was, and what she talks about is there's not much story or things going on in this episode. So it all depends on how good of an actress you think Princess is. And yes. But I also disagree with that. To your point, Joe, what they don't take into account is it matters how much we care about Princess. And to me, I don't care about Princess yet. I can't speak for anybody else watching the show.
This was to give us that little bit. We already have like a little bit of, we know she's alone. We know she's lonely. We know that she's obviously got some issues where she is alone at this point in the way that we meet her. But this was the episode to kind of get an audience on her side.
Yeah.
In her corner to get her some more fans, to build her fan corner up, right? I think Bliss makes a great point.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up too. Bliss does make a great point.
And that is something. It's not that we necessarily have to lower our expectations.
They're bonus episodes.
We have to remember that they're actually right. It's not just bonus episodes. We might not have any of this at all, right? Like, where they could have chosen, you know what? We'll just come back. We'll take the extra time to work on whatever we need to work on to make this a huge success again. But they also want to not lose the casual fan who's going to forget in a year and a half and be like, oh, I haven't watched it. I'm not caught up. I haven't watched it in 2 years. I don't know what's going on, even though there hadn't been an episode because of coronavirus.
And I don't want
episodes are for us. You know, they're very much bonus episodes. They're a gift.
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be. And
it's not a mongoose bike. It's a Huffy, but it's still a gift, right?
they're trying.
It's not Nikes. It's I don't know, Skechers.
The Skechers.
But, you know,
they're those ones that like the Starberries that you get at Walmart instead of
right.
Jordans.
Exactly. Exactly. They're like
then it's not McDonald's. It's not McDonald's. It's McDowell's.
It's McDowell's, right? Yeah, exactly. You didn't get a McFlurry. You got a Mc.
No, and
whatever.
Bliss makes a good point.
Mac.
I know some people. It's fun. We're gonna shit on this episode as we go through it, but you're right in the sense that these are episodes that didn't need to happen. They put the production together. Yes, they want to make money, all that, but the attempt was to give us a little bit more texture to the world and depth on the characters and get a head start leading into the final season on the storylines that they want to set up. Like everything with the Stormtroopers is going to be a storyline in the next season, and this was supposed to be the littering you with a small amount. The Carol and Daryl spinoff is coming in the future. It was a little bit of sprinkle of that. They're giving you a little bit of everything. They're trying, but that being said, this was still one of the most boring 45 minutes of television I've seen in a while.
Let's hope this. Okay, so with that, Phil, this being
some
of the most boring 45 minutes, and 2 weeks ago. Hold on, I'll let me pour myself a little bit of something here. I'll give you that. And with the 45 minutes 2 weeks ago, you know what? It's more along the lines of, this is shit they don't have to do next season.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is shit they don't have to put in. This is stuff that we don't have to. Now we might not need as much getting to know you shit in the future episodes next season with Princess, because we have this. So we don't need as much.
So you're hoping that this is going to yield us benefits in the final season to make the final season more action-packed and exciting, in the sense that we're getting rid of some of the build business that we need with some of these fucking characters, and that it might set up good things in the future, and that we have to climb through the tunnel of shit like Andy Dufresne to get to the fucking promised land eventually.
Right. I'm hoping that at least it makes, like you said, a little bit more action-packed. The season run a little bit smoother coming up. These are very much episodes, like they cover a couple of things in the Daryl Carroll episode. Just quick mentions of his girl that disappeared. This Carol's fault, right? Yep. So that reminds us there that we're gonna have to.
And
get back
we
to
saw
that.
her in the first episode get picked up by the dude on the horse. I believe
Correct.
that. So we know she's still alive.
Well, that was the mid episode, wasn't it? The Beta episode.
It was. Oh yeah, it was. It was the Kill the Beta. You're right.
It was the very end of the Kill Beta episode.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. To the live chat, we don't have rallies in the Northeast, but I do get the rallies fries sometimes. Frozen fries. It's one of my favorite of the frozen brands that I cook in the air fryer. And isn't rallies have another name as well in certain parts of the country? It's one of those things like the like Breyers ice cream, or is called a different thing depending on where it is. There's a couple of brands that are like that. I believe some parts of the country rallies is rallies, and then other parts it is something else.
Yeah, it's just like some parts of the country in world it's Coca-Cola, and other parts it's Pepsi.
No, that's different. That's different, Joe. King, we got the wonderful and amazing King McKay. You got to just take the bullet on some of these episodes so we can get the juice later on.
And that's what I'm hoping. That's what I think we're all kind of hoping. That right there is the big thing. These episodes,
checkers. Thank you, James,
are filler shit that we won't have to get. Hopefully, that we won't have, that they can take out of. So like if they hadn't started filming that, and it's just written, maybe some of this material was in that season that's no longer in that season, that they can now free up time to move our story along, to get us to it. Like, I feel like Kang had to waste so much time cleaning up Gimple shit, and that
that just sounds great. Had to clean up pimple shit all over
right,
the place.
like, and then but then again, a couple of these episodes feel like she just stepped out of the Gimple school of fucking film, right?
I mean,
Like, they're not that much different than anything he put out.
He did train under her tutelage, so to speak.
She did, right?
She did.
Right?
I mean, she did train under her tutelage.
Not train, but like she sat on it. She was like a subordinate.
Right. She was an assistant director. Yeah, an assistant director.
He was the boss, and this is what I want. This is the way I want things done. So she's been doing it that way for so long. Now that she's got the reins, she doesn't fully have the reins.
The Walking David says,
right?
Joe, I hope you're right. People are thrown off by Joe's optimism here. Joe, I hope you're right.
I'm being very optimistic.
You are. You're very optimistic right now.
At the end of last season, working with when
the Grinch grew a heart.
The Negan turn. When I felt the Negan turn, when I felt like I wasn't dealing with Negan anymore, but a character of Jeffrey Dean Morgan's, right? And not like, Jeffrey Dean, we need another 20 minutes of you menacing, threatening, swearing into the camera. Okay, give me that same speech last week. Give me that same speech as the week before. Give me that same speech for a season and a half. Once we broke that, and I could start to experience Jeffrey Dean a little bit more, and they got into the whisper thing, and they didn't stretch it out like they did again the Negan shit, like they did again the finding Sophia in the fucking barn shit. Like they dragged out so many small storylines that could have gone a lot smoother, quicker, and kept an audience even more interested and fascinated, right? Instead of Sophia 6 episodes, Sophia over 2 or 3 episodes, right? Like instead of Negan over, it's 2 seasons, like a season, right? Like, I mean, I lost my train of thought.
No, that is more than fine. We got a little mini Joe rant there. It was a happy one, but it was a rant nonetheless. King McKay.
So yeah, optimism. They're doing good. They're doing better. I've had a little bit of change of optimism, and then Killing Beta I thought was a good episode, and that was the first good episode in a long time. And last week's was actually the best episode.
Okay, so you're with me on last week's episode.
Season 5.
I'm with you. And
since at least the dumpster.
That's what makes this episode tonight so shitty to me.
So shitty, yes, because of the juxtaposition with last week.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping they're breaking up these bonuses. They're like, I'm hoping Kang watched him and was like, you know what, this is really boring.
Now
put this good one in.
It's almost like they hired good writers for last week and everyone else is shit. James Elliott, just tell me what happened to Michonne. I haven't seen. Didn't she go on some trip and she went? She's alive.
They had the episode with her last season where she decides, I got to get out of here. I gotta finally go. I gotta leave right before the big fight. I gotta leave and abandon my stepdaughter and my 2 daughters, my daughter and my son. I gotta abandon them and go look for Rick, even though Daryl's been doing that for 5 fucking years up and down the goddamn river. I'm gonna have a better chance because I'm gonna get on a boat with this stranger that I just fucking met, who's never seen my husband before. But like, oh yeah, cowboy boots, right? Yep, that's it. And she gets on the fucking boat and she goes out to the middle of goddamn nowhere. He turns out to be a psycho fucking piece of shit, but she still finds the needle in the goddamn fucking haystack, the cell phone with an etching on the goddamn fucking Gorilla Glass of what looks to be like a dreadlocked person and a little child that, and then on it says their names or has his name or like all of their names or something. And so she knows now he must still be alive. And that's really kind of where, I think she kills dude or whatever.
Yeah, it's not
helps some of his scientist friends escape. There's some little side story going on there. But ultimately she's now still looking for Rick, and we haven't seen her since then.
Yeah, it's not a bad episode. We got
not a good episode either, but it's got some action.
Forrest in the live chat. Happy belated birthday to Forrest. We got the Walking David is cracking me up in the chat right now. Joe, let's play a couple of voicemails that we have right now.
Was it? I was wondering that. Thank you, Atari Dad. I said to Katie when we saw that scene, was that the guy that went away with Michonne? And then I was like, no, didn't she kill him? I don't know.
Plexi says Judith is going to have some serious abandonment issues. She's going to be smoking by 12 and building her death cult by 19. And speaking of someone that builds a death cult, let's listen to a voicemail from the one and only Jason Voorhees, who had to take off his mask to leave this message, and he was very upset. He's going to kill some campers just because of his anger because of this episode.
Yo, this episode could be summed up with the first 2 lines of the song The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Look it up. JVO.
You got to know when to hold them. You got to. Oh no, it's that's the. Is it? You got to know when to hold them. You know when to fold them. First two. Kenny Rogers.
I just realized I was wearing Katie's glasses still.
Gambler lyrics. Okay, I'm looking this shit up. What is the first? On a warm summer's night on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep. He's passing out. He's basically saying this is just too fucking boring. And let's listen to David's message right here. We got one more message from David. Let's hear who we're talking to.
Hey guys, I know that we were having some trouble with that girl in the pink jacket, that moo jacket. But hey, let's throw her in that train car. You know, the one that has the hole in it that we just, put like a piece of plywood, a couple of nails in front of.
This'll be good for a prison.
Yeah, that one. No, I know that the one that has the metal crate, we put the smart guy who's non-threatening in it. But come on, it's fine. She's not gonna pick at it. She's also yelling through the walls, banging on it, and people keep going missing every time they go on their shift around there. But you know what? Just put her in that box, okay? We'll figure it out later.
Right, and so true, right? And those are all like Katie and I are saying to each other, "What the fuck?" And like nobody's out there walking around. Like she sees the one guard walk by when she's out crawling around on top of it. Like Katie and I were like, "There's something. This is just. I don't think she ever left the fucking train car.
No, I don't think so. Maybe because
she never left the train car. There's no hole in the. So
you don't think she ever met?
No.
With the interrogation never actually happened.
No, she got interrogated.
Was it a glory hole, Joe?
Was an interrogation. I don't know if it happened in the car. They took her somewhere. The first time there was definitely an interrogation.
The guy with the face that we didn't see in the shadows that asked her the questions,
right.
Called her a bitch, slapped. That really happened.
That really happened, yes. And when they came back, she hadn't been out of the train car. She hadn't like crawled around and talked to Eugene, or was it the second time she talked to Eugene too, or she noticed he was missing, and then she went back into her train car, right? And like she never those things never happened because there was no hole in the wall. Like when she finally comes to, David, we realize she's been creating this as a coping mechanism.
David says she
never went out of that train car.
David says she's going in and out of the crate like she's in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And was it a glory hole? Ian says glory hole for zombies. Are the zombies sexually active? We got Celebrity Bikini in the live chat too. Joe,
when she tried to crawl under the fence and her gun got stuck, she was still in the train car.
Okay, you don't think she was actually escaping at that point? She was having the discussion.
She was still in the train car. She was having the discussion with her Ezekiel, right, at the door to the train car. She was standing at the door to open it, and the conversation was there with the fake Ezekiel of, I can run right now, I can get away, I can do this, and no, I'm not. These are my friends. So she had that conversation with herself right there in front of that guy on the ground, right? And that's why he's like, who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to now? Now, yeah. And Atari Dad says, I saw that guy's face fine, Phil. You have to adjust your breath. It is possible. I do have an old television. Corey Mitchell.
No. I got my television just fine. I didn't see that dude's face. If that dude's face was shadowy figure man, then yes, we saw shadowy figure man face.
Corey Mitchell says, I don't get the people in the laser dag suits. Zombies are terrible at sex. Dead laces. Jason
Cholo Ezekiel, she talked to Walking Dead. He got all like when they were talking about mom and shit, he was all like,
it was the giveaway.
He put on a little bit of an accent.
Yeah, it was the giveaway that he did a great job. The actor did a great job. It was one of the better parts of the episode. Was
and the nuances of this episode.
Yeah, the subtle part.
I like.
And I hear you, but I think it would have been better in a less is more situation to cut the laziness factor. This was a 20-minute story padded out to a 40-minute episode, and it was this was a webisode. This was a fucking extended webisode. That's what it was.
It was, but it wasn't the episode that was padded. It was standard length, and it told the standard Walking Dead story. The reason why it's padded out is because of the extensive fucking commercials.
Okay, fair.
Because that's what makes this show fucking incredibly boring. Is because it's not even 40 minutes. I guarantee you that a lot of these are running at under 40 minutes.
When I'm watching the torrent of it on
36, 32.
It's short as shit, dude. I'm like surprised how quickly I'm done with the episode. I do want to get into one thing before we move on to a brief recap of this episode, even though we've pretty much talked about everything we can talk about this episode. The Facebook page for The Walking Dead is usually a echo chamber of love for the show. You get that like reflective Chris Hardwick love. I just on simple quick glance, I just want to read a couple of the comments on the page at this point in time.
Oh, snap. This is like, can we get Chris Hardwick to read these himself? Can like Tom Brady reading hate twits about himself? Like, can we get that with like the actors? Like,
I would actually really love that if we could actually
we come on, AMC. We know you watch our show. Get us these actors so they can do this for us. Help us out here.
Well, welcome everybody. Here we go. I love the princess character, but this episode is slow and boring. Let's get to the people. Let's get to those people. Let's get to find out who these people are. The last 6 episodes are purely backstory and fillers, ramping up to the final season, along with some small spin-up follow-ups. But I can't help but say it's a little boring. This is the most
true, and that's true, and that's what we've been discussing this whole time. Is that these are bonus episodes? These are back filler episodes. These are things that maybe one of the writers has maybe a little bit of a passion about. Let's explore this relationship with Gabriel and Aaron, you know, the priest and the gay guy, like an unlikely bond, an unlikely relationship traditionally, and still traditionally in most parts of this country, maybe even. But there's an understanding, of course, this is the apocalypse and all this is the future, this is a different universe, all that, but you have an unlikely relationship there, so it's something they have the time to explore where they don't necessarily in the traditional season arc, right? And they try to do that, and they try to give us moments with various characters, and a lot of times it ends up flat, but that's what these 6 episodes, I guess, are doing for us. You know, they explore a little bit more. They give us a little bit more Daryl and Carol. We don't need it. We've had it for 10 seasons. They gave us a little bit more of just Daryl and what happened for those 5 years. We didn't need it. We were kind of past it. He was a fucking hermit. That's the way he's lived his life. We were good with that. We didn't need the love story. But we needed origin.
We needed a dog origin.
We needed to know how to properly pick up women, Phil.
Now,
that's what we needed
to learn to throw fish at their door. Yeah, we need to learn. David, I wish I could get this to you quick so you could read some. But if you want to read some more comments, I don't get to. Leave us a voicemail with some of the comments on the page. I'd love to hear it. Jay Graham adds, "This episode makes 0 sense." Bobby Rose says, "Love. Last few episodes have been really boring. Only thing I know for sure is that the stormtroopers end up shooting anyone. They will be okay just to stand out in the open because stormtroopers never hit anybody if they have a shot."
Yeah, just stand there. Don't worry.
Brittany says, "Boring, total filler episode, disappointed." Melinda says, "I'm waiting for the Negan episode, only one I'm looking forward to. This is crap." Mike says, "This show used to be good, but now it's a real bore. I had to change the channel." Diana says, "These 6 episodes are a waste. Should have just ended season 10 already." Patricia says, "This show used to be so good, but the last few episodes have been so boring. I wish it could get better." Michael White, and I'm not skipping the good comments. These are all the comments. I'm just not reading like the responses. These are all the posts. Michael White, "We went from walkers to stormtroopers, from Star Wars."
These are like ghetto stormtroopers. These are like X-Cross troopers. These are like, we got kicked out of fucking the Centrum and our bikes ran out of gas, and we're fresh from the dirt track. I don't know. They look like they should be on either dirt bikes or BMX bikes riding around the track right now. Like,
they are pretty awesome. Let me, David. I'm gonna paste some of those in there. We'll see if we can have David.
Smart. I'd love to get me some of that fucking in the zombie apocalypse. You go get that BMX armor, man. That's hard plastic.
Now David's gonna record us some of the other responses that we haven't got to yet as we get a little bit into it. Joe, let's do it.
Reference. Good job.
Okay, so here we go. Let's recap this motherfucker. Oh wait, that was a pimp stormtrooper. Wasn't that in Luke Cage? Nice Luke Cage reference. They need the Z Nation writers now, says James Elliott. I'm all for Walking Dead X in space now. I know all about space, says Jason Voorhees. Did you know Chris Hardwick was married to into the Hearst family. Dude set for life. Jason Voorhees, Chris Hardwick probably glory hold this episode like he does every other one. Yes, and read those voice messages. Great to see Jay SM down in the live chat. Stormtroopers from the multiverse, the movie role models. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of this recap of this episode. But honestly, Joe, like, what else can we talk about? We open up with where we left off. Eugene, Princess, and Ezekiel are there, and then we get the princess in the. I mean, there's a
and they're not there though. They're not there.
But they're not exactly. So we never actually see the reaction. So when I guess the better question right now, because okay, the recap is basically this. Joe said it earlier. I'm going to do my version of it. Princess is in the train cart. She either leaves it or doesn't leave it at some point to get interrogated about the other people. Kumiko did get hit. Is Kumiko really talking to her? Was that really Kumiko in the other cell talking to her?
I'm going to say no.
No, because so you're going to say she talked to nobody.
Or maybe yes.
Maybe yes.
Right? And her getting hit triggered the memory of her cheekbone getting hit in the PTSD, because when Ezekiel shows up and she's like towards her cheek and Ezekiel says, "Oh, nobody's gonna hurt you again," like, is that like she heard Eugeo get fucking smacked? So she's imagining the interrogation.
It's funny you said that. Just because...
I don't think so. I think it's all in her head.
All in her head.
All of it. They're not having them in train cars where they can yell back and forth.
Atari Dad says no. They showed that she even imagined the small hole in the wall. It was not there.
Yeah, all of it was everything that she witnessed that wasn't with a stormtrooper in the room with her was fake. Oh. And including when the stormtrooper was in the room and Ezekiel was there.
Right. And even to the point they edited that in an interesting way, I guess, when they had Ezekiel hit her to make it look like she could have just
stormtrooper.
Right, that she could have just done it. Like
the way he came across and like knocked him out to start it was very like it was. He came out of nowhere. He almost came from the doorway that the stormtrooper came from.
Now we got Fandom D Saint in the live chat. When we first meet Princess, she wandered into the group. She wondered if the group was in her imagination. So from the moment she was looked up, I questioned if she was real or if this is COVID restrictions. Did Joe like this episode? Joe didn't hate this episode as much as I did. So Joe is the more liking of this episode than I am.
Joe, here's the thing. Joe,
I'm going to talk about Joe like he's not in the room. Joe's
going to talk about Joe like he's not in the room. I didn't. It's not that I thought
Joe loved
this.
Joe's gonna marry this episode. He loved this episode.
I love it. I'm gonna marry. Now, it wasn't a great episode, but I didn't think it was all that. I did think it was boring. Yes, a lot of these but I liked the way it was done. Like like I said, I was on the couch. And like,
okay, in fairness,
Katie and I are looking at each other like, what the fuck?
Joe,
what the fuck? And then she's crazy, air quotes there because crazy.
Right? No,
relative,
television character. We're talking about not real people. But okay, I will say this: I like the way post-traumatic stress disorder was depicted in Iron Man 3, but it's still not the best superhero movie. Like, I like how I like the way they showed some of the mental health stuff with Princess in this episode. I thought the actress pulled it off well. It was believable to a certain extent at times, done well in other shows, but it doesn't make that alone does not make it. I disagree with Kang when she said this episode's going to be bought or sold on the actress's performance. I think the actor gave it a good performance with a episode that was written boring.
Good job removing any fucking responsibility for your shitty goddamn fucking writing. This episode solely lies squarely on the shoulders of the actress performing. Never mind that we didn't put any of the zombies in actually zombie makeup. Never mind that we didn't actually write any lines for anybody. Never mind. It's all her. Fuck you. Like, you wrote the show, you directed the show, you produced the show, whatever the fuck you did. Like, if the episode falls short because of her acting, it's your fucking director's fault.
Now, Elizabeth corrects me and says it's not just PTSD, it is DID. It means her trauma was of the extreme significance in her formative years.
There you go.
Yeah. Better said than we said, Elizabeth, and thank you. Jason,
we're obviously dealing with someone whose trauma is significantly started significantly before the zombie apocalypse.
She says it in the actor or the character says it in the episode. I become uncomfortable in small places like that, and she also seems to have a bit of claustrophobia thing that probably triggers it.
She's very well versed in what's wrong with her.
Yes. And again, I have to say, I said it when I met up with her last season too. And to your point, I like the performance. I do like the performance in this episode. I don't care about the character enough. This episode did make me care about her more, but less is more in this situation. I'm repeating myself like a broken record. I just think
we have to at this point because the episode didn't take. There's one location,
one
actress. Yep. There's one driving story through the whole episode. There's no story A, story B. We're in location A, B, C, D with 3 different groups with multiple different characters to talk about dialogue. We have just her and her, essentially what now boils down to, when you get to the end of this episode, a long fucking monologue.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I could say that even the way these episodes are written, that's why I say that they're written more like webisodes than full episodes, because they even end in sort of uneasy, non-conclusive points. They're just sort of slices of life episodes. There's a very theatrical element to each one.
And I'm fine with that kind of stuff. Like you have like I've always said, like the what we saw the two doing last week, right? I've always said that's the kind of shit I want to see being done. Like they're out, they're searching house to house. I want to go home. No, too fucking bad. And then at the end, it's the other way around. One more, right?
Yeah. And yes, Jason Voorhees, 25 episodes. I want to catch up on a little bit of the chat before it goes away right now. And then we're going to finish up here. We also have 2 voicemails. Walking David, do you do reviews with the Christopher Walken voice? Maybe next week. She's fighting zombies in Feather BOA. Who's she? The fuck is she? Hulk Hogan, says Corey Mitchell.
Right.
I should have. Phantom D. Saint and
Ric
Flair. Woo! And Elizabeth says Rick Grimes having a breakdown over losing his wife during the prison was true psychotic breakdown from post-traumatic stress disorder, but this was a long-term DID, and I doubt she would have been able to survive on her own. Corey says...
she hasn't been fully on her own either. Like, she's been with multiple groups that we're not sure exactly what's happened to.
Right, we'll probably learn...
to her own volition in this... when she's talking to Ezekiel at the fence. What about that person? Everybody's not bad, but
Jason adds the Walking Dead would be great. Corey Mitchell, you know what, guys? Zombies have taken over the world. Let's find the most stupid-looking armor that we can get and wear it. Talking about the stormtroopers. Yes, 25 episodes left of The Walking Dead. Thank Jesus. I have not had a chance to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I do hear good things about it, and I will be watching.
We'll talk about some comic books shit right now.
Okay, so basically to finish up my recap of this episode, Princess is in because again, I took notes, but I sort of stopped. We're in and out of jail, maybe either in her mind or in reality, as Princess sneaks in and out. I tended to think that the conversation with Eugene was real, but it was just her pessimism working against her, and it was different parts of her personality all having different dynamics. Eventually she comes to having Ezekiel show up, a version of Ezekiel, which is her hero complex, and seeing an incarnate in front of her, and follows her hero complex in a situation. But again, how much of that happened? Did she just hit the stormtrooper and just stay there and never actually leave and just be above the stormtrooper with the gun, talking to herself in that moment, but never actually leave the room?
Yes.
Or not? Who's to say? I tend to agree with you, Joe, but they set it up in a way that it could have been a couple of different situations. But we do learn a little bit more about these guys, because I guess the important information is that we get from the one guy that I do think was real, the guy that she hit in the face and that eventually she gave back the gun and all of that. I think that part was real. And I think what he said, we accept everyone, and her begging for a chance and giving back the gun, I think all of that was all real.
That's the test. If she kills dude, guess what? we're gonna
That's
kill
a hell
all
of-
of them right now.
Dude, that's a
If
hell
she
of a
doesn't
test.
kill dude. Maybe dude did some fucked
Right,
up
yeah,
shit.
is that
he
what-
said he was on the ropes, right?
this Running
he said
Man?
He was on thin ice.
Wait,
He's
is
on.
Wait, is this Running Man rules?
He said, dude, if you fucked up last time, so this time you're the guinea. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you in there. Gun's not loaded. If she beats the shit out of you, she's about to kill you. We'll come in. If she doesn't, and then we'll take them in. We'll bring them all to dinner. But if she goes more than just busts your nose and is gonna kill you, don't worry. We'll kill everybody and we'll save you.
Bliss, I tend to agree. The Stormtrooper group doesn't seem like a bad morally. The writers are trying to sell them as a threat at this point, but I also tended to get a decent enough vibe from them as well.
What difference is this, right, than anything our group's done?
True.
Right? Like
Look at last week. Look at Ezekiel from last week. We got a couple of voicemails. I think another one. Listen to.
I know the priest fucking don't worry. And you know what? I was so fucking happy. He shot the dude in the head.
I think he did that for you. We got a message from our good buddy Joe, just for you, I think.
Yo, Phil, what up? Hey, tell Joe that he should just watch the episode after it airs on his DVR, and then he could fast forward through all the commercials.
He says you should.
It shouldn't take that long.
I heard.
Oh, he said. I think it's just my connection with you of it.
Okay.
He said that you should DVR the episode and skip the commercials.
Yes. No. I should. And when I watched last week's episde,
you do that on weeks that you're not doing it for this. Basically,
Yes,
like you have to watch it live to.
And here's the thing: half the time when I'm watching it DVR'd like that, I'll remember after like the second commercial, a third commercial break, and then I'll forget with like the long last 3 commercial breaks. I'll end up sitting through those, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll remember again by the like it just gets tired and like the commercial starts. You're like, oh, my opportunity to go piss, to go get a drink or whatever, and you come back and you end up watching all the commercials. Like, you are right though, but Swiss cheese in the old squash there.
Elizabeth says, I agree with Joe. Test with no ammo. That makes so it was what he said, that the gun didn't have any ammo in it, and it was set up almost in a test kind of situation to see what these people would do. That's an interesting perspective.
Right. And like Rick's got his 3 like our group has done this kind of shit. This isn't like you want to join our group, we have 3 questions for you, and what if you don't answer the 3 questions to our satisfaction? What's our group?
Why is this night different? Yeah, why?
We can't just let him go and bring people back here, can we?
Question number 1: why is this night different than other nights? Question number 2: why do we eat bread on this night? We've got a longer message from David with some more of the responses from the Facebook group. So let's Joe and I are going to sit back, have a drink, relax here for a second, and we're going to play a longer David message here. About reading some of these messages. So let's go. Let's hear. Hopefully you can hear this.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris Hardwick with the Walking Dead Sycophants Hotline. We're just going to read some of the outpouring of affection for this episode from some of the fans. We got Corey from Winnemucca who says, man, the writers have been horrible these last few seasons. There's only 1 or 2 exciting things that happen each season. Just a bunch of boring episodes. You'd think with the final season they would step the game up. Ha ha ha, The Walking Dead, more like the show is dead. Corey, I completely agree. I love The Walking Dead too. Then we got Sarah Hill from Saskatchewan. Worst episode they've ever done, like watching paint dry, and nobody loves watching paint dry more than yours truly. Okay, we got Ashley from Santa Monica. What do you say? The Daryl episode bored me. This episode is super interesting. You know what, Ashley? You are now my adopted daughter. I could not agree more with you. All right, we only got a little bit of time left in the episode. Let's see if we can find a few more. We got Jeff Scarborough. I'm going to say from Pittsburgh. Another filler so far for the third week in a row. This season is a letdown so far. Literally nothing good has happened for the group in a long while. That sounds exactly like my marriage.
He's announcing
I
for
could
like
not agree with you more,
NBA
Jeff, but I
basketball
love it.
or and Major League
love
Baseball.
it so fucking much. And
up
finally,
to the plate
we got
walks.
Evan Ginsberg.
Rhymes.
This week will greedily break the record for the most commercials in an hour of TV. Come on. You're just taking this out of the story over and over and over again. Stop taking with...
I know, David, it's a little... I'm trying to jack the volume. I need to do a little volume adjustment here at some point in the future, but I'm sorry if the volume's a little low on that. Hopefully you guys can hear this a little hear this enough, but I agree. I can tell that the volume's a little low. I'm trying to adjust it at the moment.
Both hands. Juicy chicken sandwich shaking my head. You know what, Evan? Better words about The Walking Dead have never been spoken. I love you. You are invited to the cookout. And guys, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning into The Walking Dead Sycophants Hotline. I'm Chris Hardwick. Suck my dick.
Suck my Hardwick. Yes. No, here's the thing. That show, that after show, I enjoyed it when it started, right? When they started doing the Chris Hardwick Talking Dead, it was informative at times. They had some really good, really involved fans come. I forget who the lady is. She would bring her fucking notebook.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. She actually hosted the show for a while when Hardwick was off the show.
And then there was it Jericho came on? Dude, Jericho, yeah, wrestler Jericho. I was so impressed with every fucking syllable that came through his fucking lips. I was like, oh my God, I just became a Jericho fan. Not in like the wrestling sense, but like,
isn't there a show called Jericho?
This guy got some shit in his head. Like, he's not a shithead. That's not what I'm saying. He's got a brain up there. Like, I enjoyed listening to his rundown of that episode.
Yvette Nicole Brown was her name. Thank you, Atari Dad.
Yeah, Yvette Nicole Brown. Yep. Like there was some really good guests on the show. I remember they had I also remember in the first couple of seasons they would have people on. I believe I have a memory of, was it Dave Navarro that was on once, and he like complained about the show and then was never invited back. They would have some people, and I'm not the biggest Dave Navarro fan personality wise. I love Jane's Addiction, don't get me wrong, and Chili Peppers with Dave in the band, but that's not what you do. You don't go on to another show as a guest like that. Badmouth the show you're supposed to be talking
Isn't
about.
that what you do? Or would you go on there and chill? Would you go on there and chill, wouldn't you, Joe?
If they brought me onto the show, they would be bringing me onto that show because they know exactly what they're getting from me, right?
Fair.
They know they're going to get a
Fair.
brutally honest opinion of whatever specific episode I am watching. They're going to get what I liked, what I didn't like, and I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass at all. That's not what. But he had his own show, Dave Navarro, Ink Master shit. So you don't go on that show and talk shit because those fans are going to be like, dude, fuck you. I'm not watching your show no more. So that's another part of it. I think Ink Master was probably like, no. You're not going over there because we might have lost.
Jason Alexander also came on and complained about how annoying that kid who got eaten was after the episode.
Yeah, and you're not seeing him anymore on there.
I would also like to see that Atari Dad. And it's sometimes you get in situations like that where people are so connected to shows, you can't necessarily see how they really feel because you get to know the cast and the crew and you become connected with it. So I would like to see, just from a television standpoint, what Chris Hardwick actually thought about the state of The Walking Dead at the moment. It would be, or not even at the moment, because I think season 10 is an improvement.
I'd like to see his state of thought, like an honest, blunt opinion
about season 7 and 8 and 9. Yeah.
No, just after every season, like season 1, he's going to be like, I'm its biggest fan. That's why I got this job, because I had my own podcast and I was like, everybody got to check this shit out. It's the best shit ever or something, right? Wow. I don't know for sure, but but at some point, as an entertainer, as someone that's in the industry, he has to have that objective eye. He has to see that it's not just him who might be saying, where he sees the numbers falling and the entirety of the fucking world saying the show has lost something. It's lost not only a step.
Yeah, he'll be out of his contract one day, someone said. And just someone just threw up there, I think it was Jason Voorhees, that said, and that's surprising because people are inspired enough to vote, because don't take this for a grain of salt, but right now the episode's rating on IMDb is 5.3 out of 10. So that's where people are with this particular episode.
What did last week's rate, though?
I think 7 or 8 maybe.
See, and it deserves that. It was still a little slow, and they broke a couple of hard and steady rules for the apocalypse. I can't get over that, Phil. I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about it. And yeah, no shit. How do you think the goat got in there? The sheep got in there? Well, dude, it's the fucking apocalypse. Shit happens. Animals get caught in all sorts of weird places. So
I don't want to hear about what you do with animals.
The pig, not the sheep. The pig, the boar, the wild boar. I really like last week's episode.
Me too. Can we talk about last week's episode some more?
I'd love to hear some thoughts about last week's episode.
No, and I think for guest appearances, single off, one-off guest appearances, Terminator 2 goes right up there with Mayor Joe Hale. I know Mayor Joe Hale was in a couple of episodes, but I thought this was...
Yeah, he was in a small string.
But I think this was a similar effective performance, and there's been other momentary characters here and there that pop up. The first time we see Morgan, if you think about Morgan as a singular episode before he becomes part of the show and then part of Fear the Walking Dead, that one Morgan episode at the beginning of the series, I think this was another one of those episodes where we get a singular character that is really memorable and extremely memorable end to the episode. With Father Gabriel doing the Joe Dirty Locks essentially knife to the back of the head situation right there at the end.
Oh, wow. Things I forgot about. What have we seen any other character take their own life on that show?
Don't have to worry, take your shit, buddy. I think towards the beginning we did.
Oh. I'm not remembering anybody taking their own life.
Do you mean sacrificing themselves for other people, or just taking their own life?
Sasha kind of did. How? She sacrificed herself. She didn't
Right. So did the dude with Shane. Shane kind of killed him.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And I guess we've bumped into people that they've bumped into corpses or skeletons or something. With people.
There should be a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh wait, she did kill herself. She turned herself into a zombie, so when she came out of the casket, she would bite Governor. But I don't remember how she killed herself either.
Didn't she take something? Didn't someone give her something to take, like a pill?
Did she drug herself?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But someone in the live chat can kind of tell us. Yeah, there was a lady in season 1 with the CDC staying inside and exploding the building. Yeah,
the CDC guy.
Yeah, the girl didn't want to. The girl didn't want to leave. She said, "Fuck this shit," and I'm just staying. And she stayed with the scientist guy to kill herself in the building in season 1. Yeah, that's a good one, Atari Dad.
Yeah.
That absolutely happened. Now that you say that, I have a specific memory for that. Okay, so the end of this episode, we see Princess ultimately giving up the gun and giving up and trusting the stormtrooper biker wear kind of guy, and theoretically, you're thinking, Joe, if we're actually picking this shit apart, she passed the test, right? She passed the test for the team.
Yes, but she also you got the Katie Crow. Somebody heard your voice. Katie Crow alert. She also says to him right before they walk out, because the other people are listening right outside that train car. I've only known them for a week. I don't know how old they are. I don't know their full fucking names. I don't know where they're from. Everywhere, nowhere, like everybody. She doesn't really give them any information. But she, anyway, doesn't kill anybody, right? She gives the gun back and all that.
No, and you got to figure everyone else did. And I also wonder if these are the people connected to Eugene's friend. Walking David says she took the pill that was initially made for Negan by Eugene. Yes, that's what happened. Jason Voorhees says Tara meeting the Oceanside was the second lowest rated episode at 5.6. This episode is now a 5.3, making it the worst Walking Dead rated episode in IMDb history as of right now, as of the night after.
Dead, right? She got her head put on a pike.
Yeah, Tara's gone. Yeah.
Thank God.
Elizabeth also adds, been watching Chris Hardwick since he was on G4. I've been watching since the MTV Singled Out. I think that was the first thing I saw him on.
Yep.
He does love games and comics, but he's paid to push major games and comics.
His best friend is Will Wheaton, who's like the ultimate fucking nerd, right? The nerdist, and his buddy Will Wheaton.
And Will Wheaton's kind of a shill too sometimes. But he's paid to push major games
big time
in comics and has been for a long time.
I'll shill. What do you want me to shill?
Oh, dude, we'll shill. You want us to say
shill the shit out of shells?
Tito's vodka. It's incredibly smooth. Get yourself some Tito's vodka.
Johnny Walker Double Black. Wait, my screen is double black.
Get yourself some
Johnny Walker Double Black.
Get yourself some Johnny Walker Double Black.
Oh my god, beer.
Yeah. We'd totally be like the Wayne's World scene. We'd wear your fucking sunglasses. I'd wear Doritos t-shirts and shit. I'd shill my fucking ass off. But I generally enjoy Chris when he's on his podcast and just talking shit. Like I think that's when he's the most natural, where I feel like
he's allowed to be honest.
And his stand up,
The Walking Dead,
and his stand up too. Like I feel like he's funny in those contexts, but when he's
still not allowed to talk shit about The Walking Dead.
Probably contractually.
Yeah, like contractually, he is not allowed to do it. Like, it'd be nice if this show was an independent show.
Celebrity Bikini shares your point earlier. An episode doesn't have to be great if it sets up another episode. So that's that's kind of what you're hoping coming off this episode.
Coming off of all 6 of these.
All 6 of these episodes.
I'm hoping that all 6 of these will open up space in the upcoming season where they don't have to do this shit.
Oh,
where maybe in the upcoming season they had originally planned that one of the episodes was going to be focused on Princess, and to get to know her, so we know who she is. Maybe not in a full episode like this, but like half an episode.
Yeah.
Now they don't have to do that half an episode of getting to know you shit. Or when they do it, it'll have a little bit more impact because we already do.
You said doo-doo. I'm such a child. You said doo-doo. Fractal Curve. Great to see the Fractal Curve in the chat. And thank you to all of you folks that have popped on in here. If you haven't already and you're enjoying this silliness at this point, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't, for whatever reason you're watching, hit that subscribe button as well. So thank you guys for checking this out and being with us this evening on this Sunday evening, talking about this slower but still always fun to talk about. Always fun to have an opportunity to talk to you, Joe. It's good. We're getting into a rhythm now. This is like two sessions in a row. You're coming back. We're not over yet here, but coming back for the final episode of this season. That's going to be the Negan episode, which I think most people are extremely excited for. I think it's the episode that has the most hype surrounding it.
What's next week's about?
Next week seems to be from the preview of next week going to be Daryl, Carol, and what's the other dude from the Kingdom that's Ezekiel's number 1? What
Hawaiian?
Yeah, whatever the dude's name is. I forget that guy's name, but that character seems to be a big part of the next episode.
I don't know. What's his name?
Someone in the chat will throw it in a second, but
Sir Lancelot or something.
Yeah, Bobby Baratheon. I'm trying to think of characters' names from A Knight's Tale. Shill Hardwick will never say anything bad about The Walking Dead. If he does, he loses his future contracts with corporate media. Just from Fox nerds. Corporate media will never allow him to be independent. Great to see. The Fractal Curve works every time, says James Elliott. But yes, it seems to be an episode with those characters. But it seems to be another Daryl Carol episode. Is what the preview seemed to be.
I didn't even see the preview. I went.
Jerry, thank you, Bliss, a sensitive man. The character.
I came in here to put on the computer and everything, and then watch the first few minutes of 90 Day Fiance while I was waiting. Yeah,
I'm watching The Circle UK right now. That's my cheesy reality show at the moment.
90 Days.
Circle UK. Circle UK is like in the season just started, and I'm all about it. Jerry, as Bliss said, is that character's name. I think it's a Jerry, Carol, Daryl episode, and his other brother Daryl. 3 people will get that. My issue is we have such little time that that 2 people out there is like, oh, I remember that show.
Such a good show.
Oh, it was great. Did you have a preference of the 2 Newharts, the Bob Newhart show or Newhart? I kind of, because the age I grew up in, I like
the hotel.
I like I like Newhart,
Newhart.
Newhart better, but I understand the greatness of the Bob Newhart show itself. Like, it might have been a better show, but I grew up when Newhart was on TV. That
when it was in Vermont,
right? But so
I met what's his name there, the bosom buddy that was on that show.
Oh, the not
met him in Boston.
The not Tom Hanks bosom buddy.
Yeah, the Italian restaurant that used to be across the street from the Wang Center. I forget what the name of it was, but a lady that a good friend of my parents used to work there too. I used to drop her off there, and one night, me, Katie, my parents, we were going to see like Miss Saigon or Madame Butterfly, I forget which one, and we ate at the Italian restaurant across the street. Had a couple of drinks after the show, before the show, I forget, and he was sitting at the table like fucking right next to us.
Oh,
Katie's
nice.
like, I think that's
bosom buddy, not Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Katie, what's bosom buddy's name?
He recently passed away, actually.
He's dead.
Like, I want to say it was last year or this year or something. He like recently passed away. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but
Peter Skolaris.
I'm pretty sure he just passed. I'm pretty sure he did. But
Peter Skolaris is dead. No, I gotta look that up.
Google that shit to correct me if I'm wrong, because we got it wrong on the
Scolari, Peter Scolari.
We got it wrong on the Cobra Kai.
No, he's not dead.
Oh, I thought he passed for some reason.
No, years active 78 to present, so he's still alive.
Okay.
65 years old. He's 5'7".
Okay, he's okay. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole.
He's okay.
He's okay, everybody.
Put out the rip Peter Scolari.
No,
tweet.
this is like with Ed Asner on Cobra Kai. I said he was passed away too, and people are in the comment section, Phil, he's not dead. He's 96. Shut the fuck up. My brother Dale and my older brother. Oh yeah, my brother Dale. My other brother Dale's a celebrity bikini. Peter Griffin is hashtag Team Ed for 90 Day Fiance. I don't know what that means, but I don't know if Joe knows what that means. And we get
Wait.
Hashtag Team Ed for 90 Day Fiance.
I'm not sure who it is. I've only seen like the last 10 episodes or so, and like as far as names go, no. I know there's here's the thing. I like the Pillow Talk 90 Day Fiance. I watched 90 Day, but I really like the Pillow Talk. So like I started when one of the Pillow Talk guys was picking up Colombian chicks, and now he sits on the couch with one of his ex-girlfriends. But I don't know their names. Is Ed the fat guy with the Thai chick that cooks in bed all the time? That's cool.
We'll see in the live chat in a second.
The 2 poor fucking Ukrainian chicks that are on the show right now that just got fucking
we might need to do a 90 Day Fiance podcast here.
Dude, like the 90 Day, apparently Katie said this is some sort of phenomenon. It's on like season 10 or some shit like that, and it's like one of the biggest programs out there. Apparently.
A friend of ours, a friend that, or my ex's friend got asked or almost was on that show. I'll tell you about it when we're off air, Joe. Like had got an offer to be on that show. I believe it was 90 Day Fiance. It was one of those shows. It was either that or Married at First Sight. Or it was like one of those kinds of shows.
I want to know which friend.
One of the ones that walked down the aisle with you. I'll tell you about it off air. Well, I don't want to put people's business out there. Let me. Jason Voorhees says Quantum Leap was the shit. Fractal Curve says missing every.
Where the fuck did that come from? Where the fuck did Quantum Leap come from?
But it's true. And Fractal.
It is no. It is true. It is true. Katie and I watched an episode actually like yesterday.
We're not looking in the chat play by play. It could have come up in natural conversation. And Fractal Curve has the comment of the night: missing seeing everyone, even Joe. Even Joe.
That's a first. That's a first. Thank you. That's a first.
Fractal Curve gets 2 points for Gryffindor on that one. That was good. That was a good one. I like that. For the longest time, I read 90 Fiancé as 90 Day Fiancé, thinking it's a reality show fixing people's fiancés in 90 days, says Ian. 65, not 91. Why did I think that Tom Hanks's buddy from Bosom Buddies passed away? Oh no, I know who I was confusing him with. Completely different actor, but the not Michael McKean, Lenny and Squiggy. Squiggy passed. Yeah, I was confusing Squiggy with the dude from Bosom Buddies. My bad. And yes, Ed Asner's 91 still, and who I think it was Atari Dad that maybe called me out in the Cobra Kai when I was like, Phil, Ed Asner is still alive. Hashtag even Joe. Yes, hashtag even Joe. So I don't know. We're not ending things right now. We'll have a couple more conversations about other things when we end the discussion about this episode. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else worth talking about this episode. I think Princess was in her mind most of the time. Yada yada yada. The only thing that was real was her conversation with Stormtrooper number B that she gave the gun back, that theoretically she passed a test that helped the rest of the team. And then cousin Balky's roommate, Cousin Larry.
He's dead.
Cousin Larry passed?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. We can't get
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
We can't get that Perfect Strangers reboot. I mean, reunion show.
He was in an order of like Law and Order that was Criminal Intent. That was he was fantastic in that.
Balky bought Takamis or Cousin Larry?
Cousin Larry.
Cousin Larry. Oh, good job. Atari says I don't watch Cobra Kai. Wasn't me. Was me. I just found out that James Randi and Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, Eddie Van Halen passed last year as well. On a brighter note, Better Call Saul is filming its final season right now, and Joe and I cannot wait to be here talking about that final season, every single episode. Okay, so anything else about this episode?
Larry's still alive too.
Oh, good. We're putting out a bunch of false information tonight.
A bunch of false dead people here.
See, it's because The Walking Dead didn't give us any dead people to talk about, so we're having to
we're trying to kill them all.
Yeah, we're trying to kill them all now. We're being evil bastards.
Knives to the back of the head for everyone.
Did you hear what happened to Joe Dirty Locks and Phil the Issues Guy? They're both dead. They're so old. They're old and fucking out of shape, and they're dead.
Oh yeah, they're dead. That show's been over for a while now.
Fuck those Issues guys. So good performance by the actress that played Princess in this episode, and I think even the stupid Stormtrooper guy, I think again in the material that they got today, and I think in generally sort of the tone of everything in The Walking Dead is all right in these 6 episodes, and in season 10 in general, I think it shifted to be a little bit more serious again in some port. I think the performance of the actor Ezekiel playing a different version of himself was subtle and good. Eugene was annoying as ever in his few moments. The actress that played Kumiko doing her voiceover did a decent job too. I think there was all good performance, but in general, it was a boring fucking episode of The Walking Dead that ultimately what happens is we learn that Princess had a very difficult past, that she deals with some issues, and we got backstory in her fleshed out that hopefully plays dividends later, so it takes away time from where we can get actual action and actually progression of the story. No, I'm not someone that needs shiny lights and things flashing all over the place to keep me entertained. I need well-written drama and good character moments and just well-written, engaging stuff, not just good acting performances. Right. And I think what worked about last week's episode for me, and what doesn't work about this episode and the Daryl episode, and I know you probably hate the Daryl episode worse. I think I hate this episode worse, but it's close. So
the Daryl episode is much worse than this.
It's close.
What's
okay.
good about that episode?
We get a few moments of action, I guess.
The fish.
The fish. Yeah, we get the fish.
The fish.
We get an iconic fish moment.
That's it.
So Balky is a really solid actor. What's his name? I'm blanking on the actor's name.
Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot is a very talented guy. He has like Dana Carvey, Robin Williams upside with like being able to jump from character to character, and like with commitment wise, like he can and Brent Spiner. I think he's very analogous to Brent Spiner. Like those two have he could have been Data in a different timeline universe. I think he has that acting skill where he could play all the different versions of himself and like that kind of thing. I think Bronson Pinchot does have that kind of acting ability in my experience in seeing his performances. But so yeah. So Better Call Saul 13 episodes instead of 10, making it one episode longer than Breaking Bad. Yeah, that's one thing that was announced about Better Call Saul. We are getting a 13 episode final season instead of 10 episodes, Joe. Let's be honest. The only good performance in the Daryl episode was Dog and the Fish, says fandom. So I think
I got to tell you, I'm sorry, but Better Call Saul is a more solid, better show.
Oh, here it is.
Breaking Bad.
Wait till it finishes. Hold on to that. Let's see how. Does it matter how this show finishes to you, or?
It matters, because how a show finishes can ruin the entirety of like I can't watch Game of Thrones past season 5, and now I have problems watching any early seasons too. I can't watch How I Met Your Mother at all. I would watch rerun after rerun and get a kick out of it. Where's Carlos, right? Like I can't watch any, like I put it on for 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, that ending. Oh. Like,
so
Sopranos, it's on the edge. I got 3/4 of the way through it, and then I'm like, I don't want to finish.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the end. It was because you got kind of bored by what you were watching, not because you were anticipating that awful end or whatever.
So, but like,
so
for the
Jason
most part, it can ruin a complete series.
Jason agrees with you. I agree. Better Call Saul is better. Bliss, a sensitive man, says, "Oh, damn, Joe, we have a."
No, that's a conversation that can be had.
And that's where I agree with you.
Both ways.
It's a conversation that I think, when all is said and done, is going to need to be had, because it's close. I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that I think as of right now, I think the narrative of Breaking Bad is tighter from beginning to end of the story, but I think the characters are more fleshed out in a way on Better Call Saul. Like Jimmy is a more multi-dimensional character than Walt is, even though Walt is a amazing character as a character, but we know so much about Jimmy into Saul, like in Kim and Jimmy and Kim, and then you got Chuck, and I mean, all those people in like Breaking Bad, you have Walt and Jesse. Mike and Gus are intense, but it's really about Walt and Jesse when it really comes down to it.
Yep.
And it's lightning folks, or if you could add, it's about the family too. It's about Hank too.
It's about Walt,
but it's about Walt and Jesse.
They try to make it about Skyler.
And they try to make it about Hank sometimes, and they all have high points and moments in the series, but it's really, like, for me anyways, it's all about that, but it's about that tight narrative. They're slightly different kinds of shows. Better Call Saul is like a deep character study kind of thing, but it's a good argument. Like I've said, it's a excellent chef. Like take whoever you think is the best chef in the world, and you're eating his signature dish, and you're eating his number 2 dish that could be his signature dish. Which one do you like better? And both of them are fucking amazing. Do you want Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington, or do you want the fucking you spin your fucking risotto?
Yeah. Do you eat the veal parm or the chicken parm?
Yeah.
Like the veal parm might taste better, but you got to think about the baby cow that's dead. Like,
VFW Warlord Phil, you rock. Glad to be back on The Walking Dead. We need some Joe Range. We have 26.
There'll be Joe Rage in those 26 episodes.
I believe there's 20.
somewhere.
Someone said 25, but I believe it's 26 because we have 24 next season and then 2 more episodes. And
I almost don't have rage left for me in this show. Like, how many times can I scream about leaving your shit buddy behind?
You lost it a long time.
Still leaving their shit buddy behind.
I remember
leaving their shit buddy behind, Phil.
I remember the day that you died, like the day that Joe Rage died. I remember that day. It was over. It just all stopped. You like cried. There was nothing. Nothing could be done. Nothing could be.
I don't know where.
And Jason, that's where it depends how they stick the landing. It's still in a discussion. Better Call Saul is in the discussion as probably, and I will say it's unarguably one of the most underrated shows of all time because of its Big Brother parent show. Unlike Cheers to Frasier, where Frasier really did make an identity for itself, Better Call Saul, even though it does have its audience, it still has that cloud, and I mean this is a good cloud. It's a good cloud to have over you. Has that Breaking Bad cloud over it that some Breaking Bad fans just won't budge on it.
And people who didn't like Breaking Bad will never watch Better Call Saul because I don't want to watch people doing bad shit.
Joe's new album, Rage Against the Walking Dead. Exactly, broke. Excuse me, Phantom. Shawn Michaels lost his smile. Joe lost his rage. Everybody, I'm sorry to tell you that I lost my smile because I don't want to fall down for anybody, because me and the clique don't bow down to anybody. We do what we want here in wrestling. This is Shawn Michaels. I'm the biggest piece of shit in the world, but I'm still the Heartbreak Kid. I'm sexy and you know it. I like Shawn Michaels, but you know.
I don't even know who Shawn Michaels is.
He was one part of the Rockers, and he ended up being probably one of the best, hardest working wrestlers in the ring since like someone like Ric Flair or Randy Savage. Like in the ring, Shawn Michaels could take falls like nobody. Was the showstopper. He brought the attention, but he was also like a ridiculous backstage douchebag that would fuck people over backstage, conspired with Vince to screw over Brett in Montreal. And I know what someone out there is saying. They're quoting Vince McMahon to me and saying Brett screwed Brett. But you know, like you can expect it from Vince. But Shawn was one of the boys, and he shouldn't have done that to fucking Brett.
Star Wars episode.
But anyways, I'm saving that for Big Daddy Matt and I's future wrestling podcast that we're gonna do at some point when The Sopranos is over. We got our 90s.
I could never get into wrestling.
Our
or
90s
follow the macro soap opera. That shit.
Celebrities. He was better as a rocker. I did. Him and Marty Jannetty had something special. They were one of the most exciting tag teams, especially at that age in wrestling when you didn't see a lot of wrestlers that had the skill that those two guys had in the ring. So to be able to see them pull off his moves.
Wrote that that song for Poison.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I didn't hear
that song. Every rose has its thorn.
I didn't know if
every rose.
I mean, I know the song.
Yeah, okay,
I didn't know Shawn Michaels wrote it.
Isn't that the Rock of Love?
No, that's different rock.
He was a wrestler?
No. Bret Michaels wasn't a wrestler, but he did inspire a tag team wrestling group. You probably would know the Rockers if you saw it because they were of that age in the wrestling when you were probably forced to watch it.
I stopped watching wrestling by 1988 and then started again for like maybe 6 months.
With like the NWO stuff, I think you watched.
Right, and the Lucha Libre there. Yeah. What's his name?
Mysterio,
and yeah. Hogan became bad and shit.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Okay, I'm sorry to anyone that's tuning out right now because I'm talking wrestling.
Wrestling's horrible. We're not talking about that shit.
Well, yeah. Well, I am at a different point in time, but I won't deny it's horrible. But it's still fucking delicious. Every road is Bret Michaels, and he was a rocker. So I don't know what else there is to say about this particular episode. Eugene is like, get the back in your cell, but it doesn't really happen. We fucked up. I did take notes on this, but again, my notes are just everything that Princess did, and I don't feel like taking it point for point with her in this particular episode benefits anything particular. VFW,
dude, we are top tier content.
Oh my god, I gotta go spin the wheel for VFW.
Here, no, I'll pour a little bit more whiskey. Top tier, top shelf.
Top shelf
so
whiskey.
Double black here.
Spin, motherfucker. Thank you so much for that super chat donation. Oh no. Here we go. It also landed on. We'll take drinks for you, and it also landed on you. I gotta play you a stupid little fucking.
Fudgy.
I'm gonna play you a stupid ocarina song. Wait. Okay, sorry I couldn't play louder than that because a louder instrument than that, but I landed on.
It got all like, nah, man, you took away the music.
It was good. You were like, that's going good. It was jamming. Why'd you stop?
Nah, dude, I was psyched. You had the fucking drum machine in the background and shit. You had the fucking ocarina out.
Yeah, we got the super chat.
Link was starting to conjure fucking behind you, dude. And then you hit that button and the fucking shit went away.
It shut off. It was almost over anyway. It was just a small little performance for the VFW Warlord super chat donation. The wheel. We have
I tell you, Brett Michaels would be jealous.
Would Brett Michaels want that on Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
He'd want that in the ring, dude. He'd want that in the ring. He'd want you in his corner. In the
Jason
ring.
Voorhees says that should be the theme song for the Stormtroopers. And one more huge thank you for that super chat donation from VFW Warlord, and it landed on Ocarina or Trumpet Song, since I can't play the trumpet at 11:48.
I want to know about his poker.
Big Kev might pop in here at some point in time. He usually pops in
his
late.
fucking Big J.
Oh, Big J will be back. You know, Big J will be. He only watches our Better Call Saul stuff. He'll be back for Better Call Saul.
I miss Big J.
Portable spinning wheel technology. I have to, because this room, Joe's actually been in here.
Oh my God.
I
think wave pool made out of wood.
I cannot put the.
That's not in motion.
Right, I cannot put the wheel actually on a flat surface, or it will fall straight.
There is
forward.
no flat surface.
No. I'm falling.
Everything. Okay, here. You ready? Okay, so you think that his camera is at an angle, okay? Now, what I want you to do is look right behind Phil's forehead at the shelving, right? You can see the bottom side of the top shelf, right? Now, look underneath his left shoulder. You can see the top side of the desk next to his right bicep, right? The floor is pointing to the middle of the room on both sides there.
You're confusing everyone, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about. We need arrows.
Yeah, celebrity.
Yeah, but let's just say that the room is on an angle. I might be.
Like 4 angles, Phil.
Yeah, there was a potential chance I might be moving in September, so I will be off the angle. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Big Kev is another Vegas guy, right? I believe he's in Vegas. I think he travels around a little bit. Elizabeth says, I feel like if we look at what each of our characters says to process, we know what each characters are at play in their head. Seems like a hot-headed warrior type represented by King. Yeah, and I also think each one of the characters that we see inside her mind are different.
The princess.
Are different parts of Princess. Are different.
Right. We know.
And great to see Changa in the live chat. And yes, the Montreal Screwjob. Phil has a particular set of skills. Yeah, and
she obviously thinks, and that's a good point, and that is something more that we should kind of explore.
Elizabeth's making some great points tonight, actually.
I'm glad you actually said that, Elizabeth, because here's the thing: when when Ezekiel punches the Stormtrooper and beats him up, when she finally realizes that it was her that has done this to him, right? I'm sorry, I don't know my own strength. And that's kind of important, because she's bestowed the strength. The fighter of the group is Ezekiel, right? When she talks to Eugene, she's talking Eugene's giving her some strategy tips, right?
Or even her pessimism. Or
no, because he's not. I don't think he's being pessimistic, Eugene. I was kind of half asleep. I was just waking up after 2 hours. I worked last night, but he was telling her, like, this is a test. This can work out okay. You have to think about what's going on here.
Gordon said,
I think it's a great point, and it does very much so represent part of her own personalities.
Yeah.
And that she may not feel like she's strong enough to beat this guy up, which obviously she is, but Ezekiel can do it.
Right.
And if she has to become Ezekiel to do it, she will. If she has to become Eugene to outsmart these guys in an interrogation and to outthink them, to not answer the questions or to ask questions instead of answer them, to turn the interview around on them, to frustrate them to the point where they have to smack her and be like, we're done, like, we're not going to get anything out of you. Like, she's attributed these elements of her personalities to these people that she's just met, because this is who she believes they are as well, I guess.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Is to your point, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
well?
I think it's a good point. Gordon also says, if she's a princess, who is she, a toadstool? And someone says, no, she's Princess Peach.
That's actually her name. Peach,
because it's the 90s. And or I was gonna say it's Princess Carolyn, so she's a cat, so you can eat it, Gordon Shumway over there. I know. Neither Joe or I are trusting you around our cats, or when I get a cat, you scary alien life form. We know what you guys do there on Melmac to our kitties. You're not getting our cats on fucking Melmac, you dirty fucking bastard. You dirty Alf bastard. Try that shit with Willie. You're not gonna get over on Phil and Joe, Gordon fucking Shumway, buddy. Fucking asshole. Crossover spinoff, The Walking Dead South Park, The Princess Kenny Diaries. I like that. CJ Ritchie, The Birdman. Princess is reminding me of Mr. Robot. And I really enjoyed Princess Robot. Mr. Robot season 1, but for some reason I haven't yet watched any of the other seasons. Does it go past season 2?
I don't know if it goes past season 2. I really enjoyed season 1.
I did too. I loved it.
And I don't think I finished season 2. I lost interest. Like, that's another one of those shows that they cliffhanged in the absolute worst possible way. Just like Heroes season 1. Just like Lost season 1. Just like there are some shows that can be absolute masterpieces. Both of those, Lost and Heroes, are some of them. And Mr. Robot, absolute masterpiece season
Speaking
1.
of Heroes, one of the few, like, I don't want to get too into talking about the Justice League thing. No spoilers here or whatever for people that care about
my God.
The only thing, one of the only things
God.
I didn't really like was it did the Heroes thing with the slow motion. It played that Heroes song part. Every time it was slow motion, it reminded me a little bit of Heroes at times with those slow motion moments.
I didn't mind any of that shit.
I didn't mind it. I generally enjoyed it. It was a good 4-hour watch.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what. It is an absolute. Are we done with the dead here?
No, okay. But let me tap things off here. Everybody, if you have Walking Dead stuff, feel free to keep asking questions about the Walking Dead. But we're gonna open the conversation up a little bit and talk a little bit about the Justice League, the Snyder cut of Justice League.
The Justice League.
So if anyone doesn't want to hear that kind of conversation, all good. Check out now. Thank you. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Same with the people listening to the audio cast, because this is going to be released as an audio cast on Podbean and iTunes as well. So if anyone isn't interested in that kind of conversation, check out now. But we're going to talk all about it. Probably some spoilers, but it's a movie that's been out since 2017 and the plot hasn't changed. So I feel okay generally talking about spoilers for it, but we'll give warnings. We're going to probably talk about our immediate thoughts about it. And then...
Oh no, I'm not going to not spoil the fuck out of Justice League here for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. There's too much. This is a 4-hour fucking movie. There's at least an hour of footage that was shot before Zack Snyder had left the project. There's at least 4 or 5 minutes of extra footage.
One second, Joe, before we get there. I just want to read one more comment for The Walking Dead for now. Ezekiel, where's my princess? He tilts his head. Your princess is in another castle. Awesome, David. And yes, so thank you so much. And I Celebrity Bikinis bouncing out. Anyone else bounce out? Love you guys. Thank you for checking out this stream. We'll be back next week. I'll be back with David, The Walking David, talking about The Walking Dead, and then Joe will be back in 2 weeks to talk about the final episode. And I will also be back this Wednesday evening with Big Daddy Matt talking about the Sopranos episode, Another Toothpick. So check that out, and hopefully be back this weekend over on After Dark stuff as well. So yeah, let's get into this. 1, 2, 3. So Joe, the Snyder cut came out. What the fuck do you think about it?
So yeah, 4 extra minutes of brand new filmed footage. It's packed, and there is a whole element of this movie from the original that you saw in the theaters or on demand or however you watched it, that is completely missing from the movie as well. So they managed to take out a good probably 15 to 20 minutes of footage, and still add over an hour.
Dude, they took out that whole stupid storyline with that random family that the Flash. Like, who the fuck were those people, and why do I care about them?
And they took out the scene with Batman hunting the insect on the roof.
They made Batman was so useless in the 2017 edit. They just made him like dumb. In this one, they actually gave him shit to do.
But they gave him shit to do, but they also took away like that was a big action scene for Batman on the roof. He goes after the burglar just to trap the fear thing, and that was a whole big part of the storyline, is that these things smelled fear. They removed all of that, and the references, like there's one reference to them smelling fear.
Is it awful to say, is it awful to say though, I appreciate it. It was definitely a better Joe's smelling the fair. It smells like
I'm smelling your mother's box.
It smells like victory. I smell your vagina. It smells good.
I smell your mother box.
Now, is it okay? I'll say this though. It was obviously I'll say obviously a better edited version of the 2017 movie. Whatever Joss Whedon chose to take out doesn't make sense. Like all of it just doesn't make sense. That being said, I personally just don't like Zack Snyder's movies, and this is probably the most Zack Snyder movie he's ever done since 300. Like it's everything. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my favorite filmmaker, but it's a very good version of a Zack movie. If that makes sense.
I loved 300.
I know you do. You've always loved that movie more than I do. It's not that I don't. It's not that I think it's bad. It's just the style over story. There's some of the stuff.
No, I get it. It's artistic stuff over whether or not it's actually a good movie.
This is an amazing version. This is the best one of his three. It's better than Man of Steel. It's better than Batman versus Superman. It's like the best one of his. He was getting better. It does some interesting stuff, but it's still like not my favorite version of this universe. So it's not much crazy. It's not like the greatest thing of all time for me, but I can understand someone that's into the Zack universe, like into his movies, could think that this is one of the best things ever put out, because it is really well put together, and it's 4 hours that flies, and it's 4 fucking hours of goo. You're getting it all.
Right. There's also the aspect of it too that's it's, if you're watching this movie and you're coming from the Marvel universe, this movie originally in 17 felt a little Avengery, right? Now it's very Avengery. It's very Thanos-y with the dark side, with the generals going to do shit.
You get the
power stones.
The three boxes come together, and he can snap his. I mean, he can like undo existence. Now Changa adds, I really like the Joker in the Snyder cut as well. He was way better. What did you think of Jared Leto's Joker in this compared to Suicide Squad Joker?
He was absolutely, I don't want to say way better, because I felt like for the most part it was still Jared Leto.
It was still Jared Leto's Joker.
It was still Jared Leto's Joker.
Styled way better.
I like that it was Jared Leto's Joker's personality, but Zack Snyder got to say, we ain't doing that shit with the tattoos, or we're covering it up. We're putting the makeup on. I like the styling of him, and it was a lot better done. I'm still not sure if he's my favorite selection for the Joker. Tell me it wasn't awesome hearing the F-bomb.
Yeah, fuck you. I'd fucking kill you. Okay, I want to go through a little bit through each character and talk about some of the differences between the two versions, especially some of the ones that I think were way improved. I think that this edit benefited two characters more than anybody. The Flash and what's his name? The Cyborg. Especially Cyborg. I think the Flash, I still don't love his performance as the Flash. He's not my favorite, but I think they made him a lot more bearable and a lot more fun because they gave him shit to do. Like the thing at the end when
they made him, he's also, again, his character harkens back to Peter Parker's character in the Avengers movies. Starstruck at the superheroes, wanting to be one of them, a little clumsy, a little funny.
And I know you don't watch him. I still think the kid on the TV show does a better Flash.
No, I just don't. So the way they represent the way the Flash moves and does things in this version is very good. The way they did it with the Quicksilver's still the best. The Quicksilver is still for me the best version of the Fast character. What they still get wrong, even in this cut, is there's at one point where he's running around the city under the dome, and you see the the bolt of lightning going around through the streets. And I'm like, that graphic of, they try to do in every movie and every TV show, you see the red streak, and they call him Streak or whatever at the beginning of Flash, right?
Yep.
In the TV show, you see that, and like you see it zigzagging like it's a mouse in a maze or whatever. And I'm sorry, but it should be a fucking Flash. Sure, see it in all the city blocks, but instantaneously at once.
I hear you about
street,
I hear you about the effect
moving through the streets.
I hear you about the effects, but it's almost like when they do hockey in the All-Star game and they get the laser on the puck so you can see it. It's almost like just as a visual cue. I just think
I think the visual cue is wrong.
No, fair. And you like it better in the way they do it in the Justice League movie.
But they still do it wrong in the Justice League movie, because they do the exact same thing when they do those faraway shots of him running through the city. You see the zoo, 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 zoo all around the blocks, and that's not what you should be seeing. Okay, so in the comic books, you'll see that, right? But those are still shots. Those are still framed shots. So that's what you get. And I know a movie, yes, it's 1,000 still frame shots rolled together, whatever. Get over it. What the Flash is, it's a flash. It's
but
when you turn on a light, do you see the light move from the?
No.
Like he even says, I'm approaching the speed of fucking light.
But the characters,
that is so fucking fast. You do not see the light come from the light and move to the wall.
But in fairness,
the light is just in the room and not in the room.
But in fairness, the characters on the show and in the movie, they don't see that. That's for us.
And it's done in correct.
Fair.
It's slow motion Flash. Then why do they then you don't take the fastest man in the universe and make him slow motion. You slow down everything else, right? Which is what they do when you see him actually touching stuff.
Okay.
Or like that, all that was good, but it's the big visuals of that they get wrong in every Flash.
Now they did this scene in both movies, but I definitely love the scene when they're fighting Superman and the Flash is running around him and Superman just turns around and goes, "Bitch."
And he sees
Flash
sees him.
Yeah, he
sees his eyes collect right on him. He's like, how did he do that?
That might be one of my
able to see me.
That might be one of my favorite Henry Cavill Superman movie moments. But okay, so I do want to say
he's the best Superman. Like
we'll get to him in a second. What I do want to finish up on the Flash, he's not my favorite Flash, but even not my favorite Flash around right now, because I do, as Chanka said, I like Grant Gustin a lot better as the character. But I think he was a lot more bearable in this movie. They gave him more to do. They gave his character a little bit more backstory. They gave him like something other than just what Joe was saying as the Peter Parker kid and just saying, "Hey, I'm here, Mr. Stark." They actually gave him things to do. They took out that scene where he was like talking to Batman,
right,
and he's like, and Batman's like, "You just go kill one guy," where he's having a panic attack, and Batman's like, "Get one guy at a time." They took out that scene. They made him actually function. So moving on to Cyborg, who I thought had the most, because James Elliott makes a good point. Cyborg should have had his own introduction like everyone else did. But they added a lot where they had Miles Dyson from Terminator 2 as his father. I like the casting. Who sacrifices himself. Excellent performance by that actor who always delivers an amazing performance anytime he's in anything.
And I say they set up for more movie. Even though I don't think there's ever going to be with this cast.
But doesn't this make you want a Cyborg? Like, coming out of this movie, it makes me want a Cyborg movie more than anything, because I think they could do so many interesting stuff with him taking over
and his
digital
dad doesn't
shit.
Die. It's a change box, right? They're change boxes. So what makes you think that Dad's dead? He's just in the ether now, right? He's in the computer system, isn't he?
He's in the Nexus, like the Star Trek Next Generation Nexus kind of thing.
He's going to be in the He's the voice that'll be able to talk to Cyborg from the beyond.
But I do think the character of Cyborg was the one that got most screwed in the original cut, because I just felt like he came out of nowhere and didn't offer any character. I think in this version, he does so much more. You understand more his connection with the box. You understand, like, I didn't get that in the first version for whatever reason, that he got his powers through the box. Maybe it was clear and I just missed it. But, like, in this, it's very clear. We get to see
and him having to merge with the box.
Yep, and
was all new.
And his father having to, like, bring him back with that and doing, like, maybe that was all in there and behind the scenes in the other version, but it was a lot more effective in this particular version. Another thing, to move on to a different character, Wonder Woman, and I didn't notice this until I was kind of rewatching the 2017 version to pick up on some stuff and watching some videos pointing out some of the differences on some of the the channels that do that stuff. And the Wonder Woman fight at the beginning, where she breaks up all they took her out, like the end. What you learn in that scene is Wonder Woman has balls enough to kill people. Like, she kills that dude in the last dude when she claps her chains and she
a little bit of excessive force,
right,
though, right?
But that's what we're supposed to know about that's what I love about the Wonder Woman from the DC animated universe. Like, she's the one you have to watch out ripping your fucking head off. She doesn't have Batman's moral I won't kill you code.
She knows
she will fuck you up.
Yeah. The moral code there is there's good and there's bad, and if you've proven to be bad, then we're gonna end you. I'm gonna end you.
Yeah, she's like Punisher and shit.
She ends what's his name? She cuts his fucking head off at the end. Spoiled.
Yeah.
She ends that dude in the bank. She ends Ares in her own movie.
Yep.
She has a long history of killing the bad guy. She's a warrior. That's what warriors do. She's an Amazon fucking warrior.
And they took that out in the Schneider version. I mean, not in the Schneider version, in the Josh version. They edited that scene really weird and made it look a lot less violent and fun, and took out her killing that guy. So
like that guy tried to kill a whole bunch of fucking innocent people.
Yeah, as Changa
deserved to go to, like,
as Changa said,
he was trying to kill 4 city blocks.
She killed that dude. She flung him against the wall. His head exploded, as Changa said. Yes. And yes, he'll always be Miles Tyson to me. And he's the DC Jarvis now. And he is the DC Jarvis now. And even beyond that, he's also sort of going back to Cyborg. He's also like Steel. He's also like that character in bringing back Heroes. What was fucking what's her name's son? It was the fire, the stretchy guy and the Fire Girl's son that could, like, control computers with his mind.
I don't remember. Like I said, season 1 only.
Micah was his name on Heroes, I believe. That could go into machines and control machines and like do whatever he wants. And because of that, he was completely, like, untouchable. And I think they could do some really interesting things in the world we live in now, in the digital world, with a character like Cyborg. I think that could be a very interesting, different kind of superhero DC movie if they wanted to give us a full Cyborg in some sort of espionage thing.
Let's talk about, like, what they can do now and remakes they should do. I want a full Bab 5 remake.
There's talks of that. We're going to get into Bab 5 at a different time. James Elliott says the Wonder Woman action music was annoying. I will say my one criticism, even looking at this, like, and I know I'm not the target audience for this, but the music at times seemed uninspired and annoying. That was there was at times where the music was just overly.
Yeah, there's one song too, like, that's just like. No, it had actual lyrics and shit. No,
the music in the movie sucked. There's no doubt that was the weakest part of this particular edit. It seemed like it was over dramatical, not exciting music. Yeah, Micah, thank you, Changa. Technopath. Yeah, he was a technopath. Yeah, he was one of the more interesting kind of power characters on Heroes because he just had an interesting power set you don't usually see in different situations. And Cyborg has that power set too. Okay, so Wonder Woman, I think they showed Wonder Woman to be more of the badass, like will do anything, like will kill kind of character. And they also made it more of a team movie where they had the team grouped together. Okay, there's not much to say about him, but dude, look, dude, yeah, dude, I'm Aquaman. Here I am.
No, they were like, you know what? He had a movie.
Like, what?
You don't need to put any extra.
He was all right.
Aquaman shit in there.
He was
we
himself.
Could take some stuff out, I think, maybe. And he must spend a fortune in clothes, Aquaman, ripping them off and throwing them away every time he got to jump
I mean,
back in the
if
fucking
you looked
ocean.
like, if you had a body, wouldn't you rip your clothes off all the time too? If you looked
Boots
like...
and shirts all the time. Like I guess that one chick went and picked up his clothes. Maybe she leaves them in certain spots
Dude's
for
married to
him.
Lisa Bonet, walking around. I mean, like, fuck that guy. Like, fuck
Right,
that.
and then in comes who? Deathstroke, and Deathstroke's married to the Colombian there in Modern Family.
Oh, he is the guy who played Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Jesus.
dude, Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
When it took me like a half a second, as soon as like Lois Lane's little mom talked there with Miss Kent, and I was like, oh, is that Martian
Manhunter. We got Martian Manhunter, and
that
that's
was supposed to be Green Lantern.
That scene was different as well, from the original version where the discussion is different. So we get those characters. Then we get Superman in this version, which I liked him a lot better in this particular version. I know you wanted to talk about Henry Cavill here. So he's your favorite Superman since Christopher Reeves?
I think he might be the best ever.
Have you started watching this television series that people were talking about, the Lois and Superman,
no,
whatever it is?
Dude, Smallville. I mean,
no, it's
Lois
not.
And Clark.
No, it's a new one though. It's a CW one. People are all over.
What's his name there with that fucking right winger?
People are all about this show though. People are saying it's it's a good Superman series. They're trying to get us to watch this show.
Superman does well as a series. DC does well as like I guess
animated
like TV.
series. But I think they do good at animated. Is really what they do best at.
I mean,
But okay, tell me what you.
I think Marvel just hit the market quicker.
And Kevin Feige, say what you want about any of those movies, even if you're not into the whole Marvel thing. Kevin Feige had a plan and he stuck to the plan. He knew what he wanted to do and it shows. At least through the first cycle. We'll have to see where this one goes, where this phase 4 shit goes. But leading up to the end of Infinity Wars and Endgame, he had a very specific vision in it, no pun intended to WandaVision, and he saw it through. DC is a lot of stop and goes. And I would have been fine if DC had been, from a movie standpoint, it's like when someone's playing fast at a poker table, you play slower. When someone's playing slow, you play faster. Like DC, they should have just stuck to one-off movies that aren't interconnected. You know, not everything has to be a connected universe. They could have kept doing Christopher Nolan movies or Batman movies that were individual Batman, and that's what it seems like they're going to get to now. They're going to have the Twilight guy Batman movie. They're going to have a Flash movie that has Michael Keaton playing old Batman, and then they have the Joker movie, and then they might have another Joker movie coming out with a different actor. Like they're going to do a lot of individual stories, and I think they should have done that a long time ago. I'm not the biggest fan of Man of Steel, but there's no reason why Man of Steel couldn't have lived on its own, not have been the foundation for a shared universe of DC characters.
The big problem, I think
we did see a Green Lantern in this movie, by the way. We saw Kilowog get his arm cut off by Darkseid.
We saw him get killed.
Did he get it? Did he actually die? Because we see
he dies. The ring comes off when he dies. It comes off on its own.
But it flew away and it flew back.
Yeah, it goes and finds it. Like it goes and finds.
So is that when it found Jon Stewart or something?
You mean Hal?
Or somebody, the next guy? Is
that? No. It'll find somebody, but not a human until Hal, when Deadpool becomes.
James says DC can't seem to get the Green Lantern shit together. Will we ever see a successful Green Lantern movie?
I'm sorry, but there's a lot wrong with
Ryan Reynolds.
His name's Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, but it's not horrible. It's not a horrible movie. I don't think it's horrible. I can watch it. I'm also. As far, if you're not a Green Lantern fan, you're not watching it. I don't know. It's not horrible.
So back before we get off that, so you really do enjoy Henry Cavill as Superman?
I really do. And that dude, man, he even makes Momoa look like a fucking throwaway. I'm sorry, but I think he's got one fucking hell of a chiseled fucking
My favorite
shit
part
going
of
on.
both versions of the movie is watching Superman beat the shit out of everybody. I fucking
Dude, it is fucking amazing. Yeah, like, and the other thing I like about it is truly you get the sense that there really is only one of these people that can take him on, and that's Flash. That is Flash. The others, they're toys. Flash at least can outmaneuver him, and because of the speed in which Flash moves, the power in which he hits is incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
If he
He's
could
like
harness-
the only one of them.
if he could harness what he could really do. They also took out that stupid race thing that they have with Superman. And
I
Flash.
like that because that's a big thing. That's a big thing. There's
It didn't fit the.
actually
It didn't
books
fit the.
about that.
But it didn't fit the tone of the movie that they were doing at that point in time.
No, it didn't. But I liked it. It was cute. It fits because it was like, wasn't it like the after credit scene?
Yeah, but
or
it
some
but
shit?
it fits.
Like, that's why it fits.
It fits in another universe. It fits in the Josh Whedon Justice League universe. It doesn't exactly happen. Yeah, Clark woke up a bit grumpy. So those are all the main characters that we talked about. Lois is in it as well, obviously, and then we have like a couple of other like Miles Dyson, Clark's mom, Martian Manhunter, as we mentioned, showed up. We got a couple of flash forwards at the end of the movie where we see other things that might have happened. The Batman flash forward dream scene that we talked about with the Joker. But in general, would you say, if we're going to do a little speculation, was that supposed to be post Darkseid winning? Darkseid, because they mentioned that if Darkseid wins, a small group of humans will join together to try to survive the apocalypse that the Earth will turn into. So in that particular timeline, has Darkseid won, and this is Batman's group of the last survivors, so to speak, and he needs the Joker for something specific. That's why he's keeping him alive.
I wasn't sure what was going on with those finals in the epilogue there with revisiting the Batman
Dream
versus Superman Bad Dreams.
Yeah, Bad Dream.
So
that's what I think. It's what I just said, that it was a flash to the forward to the point where we see Darkseid at the end of the movie say we're going to do this the old way, which means they're going to do a full-on invasion of Earth, and the humans will lose. Darkseid will get the anti-life equation, turn Superman against the planet, wipe out the fucking planet, and turn it into a fucking cesspool, and then the only survivors will be Batman's little group there that will have to save the day.
no.
But it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because we're never going to get those fucking movies.
Right, and why well, here's the thing. Whatever they want to say about not getting them, this shit was good. This shit was really good. And this shit I think is going to make some big waves, and it's going to get a lot of these actors and producers and director to change their fucking tune about what happens for the future.
So do you
about
think
where they go?
So do you think
this sets up a lot?
Do you think we get more?
Henry Cavill said he's not doing it anymore.
Do we get more?
That changes when someone throws $10 million at you.
James
right?
Elliott says the mother boxes though? Question mark. I mean,
yeah, I can smell the mother box on you. Like, oh,
and that.
Oh, dude, could you get really, dude?
And
my mother's box on me.
And considering the Infinity
Mine
Stone,
or yours, mother's? Whose?
And considering the Infinity Stone thing, like of course, it's like it's very Infinity Stone fantasy. And
but they destroyed the boxes. They even say it at the end. Now that the boxes have been destroyed.
Yeah, but we still have Cyborg, who's part box, so he could. He's like Wanda. He has part of the stone in him. So we could
Transborg.
Yeah, he's part Borg,
box,
part box, and so the mother boxes were what they were. I am a pro dorks. I'm on the dork side, not the dark side. I am dark side. I will kill you all. So I don't know. It was well made. So do you think we'll get more Zack Universe movies? Will this
depends on not just how critically acclaimed this is for people, but how the audience takes this. If this propels this movie and the right people decide to throw enough money at it, everybody's coming back. Everybody's going to find the time and find the space to make the future movies. If this gets mediocre reviews or Was
It's
this
getting
a waste
great.
of
It's getting,
time for people?
as of right now, it's getting great reviews.
It's getting unbelievable. Like, I haven't talked to a single person that said don't. It's not worth it. It's 4 hours. Like, everybody, it's the 4 hours flies the fuck by.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Like you're gonna sit down and think I saw that movie, but you have not seen this movie. You have not seen this movie. This movie is not the same movie.
We're spoiling the fuck, Peter. So if you haven't seen it, jump out if you don't care about spoilers, or if you're afraid of putting something in the chat.
We're not like going through it scene by scene, but when we think of something, we're not stopping to like be like, hey, wait, you're gonna want to fast forward a second,
right?
Because there's too much. Like, there's a lot you've seen, and there's at least 2 hours of footage you've seen, or an hour and a half of footage you've seen.
Yeah, Peter, movie. I wish I was at the ATM when Cyborg was walking by too. I want to make friends with Cyborg because he can just.
I won.
Steppenwolf, and that's okay. Thank you for bringing up Steppenwolf, James. Steppenwolf was in a portal box, even though that they said no portals. Steppenwolf was better in this version of it too. They visually made him a better looking random CG character with his armor that seemed a little bit alive, and he seemed like a little bit more of an imposing foe in this version than the original version.
Yeah.
So he was all right, but I'm still there's something generic about the random bug enemy villain guys that are just endlessly coming everywhere. It's just the
soldiers.
Yeah, the little soldiers, like his soldiers are a little.
They kind of address it that they're basically, slaves from all the planets he's conquered.
Yeah, they're Borgi, and I did enjoy. Okay, we haven't really talked too much about Affleck, so I think we should get to Affleck here. One of my favorite Affleck moments in the whole movie was when Wonder Woman's giving the info dump about the stones. I mean the boxes, and he's like, "Wait, boxes?" And he like interrupts her in the mid story, and they cut out of like the flashback to the two of them talking and shit. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying the same thing about a couple of versions of these versions of characters. Ben Affleck isn't my favorite selection as Batman. I know there are people that are fans of him playing old Batman.
I like it.
I know a lot of people do, but he is better than I thought he was going to be, and he pulls it off.
And it comes off best in this version.
This is his best movie.
Katie felt like the actor was dialing it in.
That Ben was dialing in a little bit.
Yes,
I agree because I think Ben thinks he's done with this, and when he went back for reshoots, he was kind of like he doesn't want to be acting anymore. He wants to be directing. He was doing all of this to direct a Batman movie. Like I really think he did all of this so he could direct a Batman movie eventually, and it didn't work out, and he got stuck. Like there's that moment, there's a lot of great videos when they were interviewing him and Henry Cavill for the Justice League reviews, and when it started to get shitty reviews, and it's like the moment Ben Affleck died, when you just see the look on his face when he's like, this again, like I'm getting bad, I have to deal with this shit again. I thought I was done with getting...
Just because it's me in it, they're already saying it's bad because of who I am.
But he won me over a lot.
No, Batman Superman was a bad movie.
It's horrible. It's the worst one. It's the worst of the three. If we're judging the three Snyder movies...
Now, that is with exception to every second Gal Gadot is on screen.
Just because...
No, because everything that's written about Wonder Woman is fucking fantastic.
So why did the second Wonder Woman movie suck so much?
It's not... there.
Because I agree. I love her first. I love her first movie. I love her in every guest appearance she's in the other movies. But that second movie was horrible.
It was fruit of the poison tree, so to speak. Is that the right kind of expression? Like there was, so I don't know. Tried to bite off too much. Tried to do too much. There's aspects of it.
It's not
don't
because of
play
her.
Well, in today's society,
it's not because of Gal Gadot's acting. It's because of the other elements of that film. A couple more things before we call it here tonight.
But that being said, you know what? For whatever it's worth, I enjoyed number 2. I just don't think it's as good as number 1 or as good as her appearance in BVS.
Changa said it best. I think it's just poorly written.
And that's
because I think she's okay in it. I think what's her name's okay as a villain. I think Pedro does his best hammy acting.
I'm sorry, Chris Pine had no business being in that movie.
Chris Pine had the whole Chris Pine sub story is stupid, and how he comes back and how he leaves is stupid.
And how she's just ready to let this dude's life be
it is forever. Literally so stupid. Like, that is the worst part of the entire story, the fact that Chris Pine has to show up. I agree, and it makes no sense. It's bad. Peter Griffin, watch like an
no, it makes sense because of where they went with the story and how she's gotta give up what she loves to, stop this, to show that, wishes are bad or whatever. But like,
my heart just died a little bit hearing what you just said, but it's true. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I died inside a little bit. Okay,
a point, but the point sucked.
A couple more.
They could have made it without Chris fucking Pine. He died.
Why are there 12 Robins and they can't get a hero and a sidekick right since the 50s? It's true. And again, the animated series did it well in 2 situations, but live action, every sidekick situation just has not worked.
No, wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Who?
Every, the original incarnation and the Amazon incarnation of the Tick.
Oh, okay, fair. The Tick works. The
sidekick in that. Very good Arthur in both versions, but the new one even more so.
The Amazon series is excellent. It's
so good.
A very underrated series if you haven't watched it and you like the original Tick or the cartoon series. Didn't see it. So a couple more things about Justice League before we call it. So yeah, I thought it was good. If you haven't given it a chance, watch it. It's a good 4 hour. You might want to watch it in two shots. Originally, I guess they were talks that he might have tried to have it be 2 movies, but I don't think it was set up for 2 movies. It was 1 4-hour movie. I think if they had cut it in half, the first movie would have been horrible. Like it just it's
Kick-Ass too. She's a sidekick.
Oh, Kick-Ass is pretty good. And I'll also say, even though the Iron Fist is the worst thing in the universe, Colleen's a good sidekick.
Who?
Colleen, his girlfriend, with the sword, one of the sand snakes. But it's good. Be happy that you don't remember anything for Iron Fist. I'm sorry I even said it. Sorry I said those fucking words.
Oh, Iron Fist. Oh,
sorry, Joe.
That's the part I didn't hear you say.
Changa is with you. I still can't believe that show got canceled. The Tick.
That's so good.
Yeah, it really is. But
so when they did that, when they were putting out the Tick, they had 3 shows. Amazon was like, here's the pilots to these 3 shows. We want our audience to pick. One was called, I think, Love. One was Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which was also fucking fantastic.
That was amazing. I remember that show. Yeah, that was really good.
Fantastic. And they came out with 1 season for that too, and it was fucking awesome, man.
Wasn't Skinny Pete one of them too, maybe?
No, Skinny Pete actually with what's his name there?
With Cranston and
Rivisi.
Yeah, with Cranston and Rivisi.
They made that was already out for a season or 2.
Ah, okay. That was
had a good run to it too.
That was one of the early ones.
Yes.
But anyways, I don't know if there's much else we can say about the Justice League. Phil, you guys continuing with reviews of the Falcon with Teflon. I think eventually we will be getting to that on with Teflon, myself, and Alicia over there at some point in the season. I don't know if we're going to be doing week-to-week reviews of it, but we will be getting back to that at some point. I have to talk to Tony to confirm that, but I think we'll be back on with Tony next weekend over there on an After Dark, and maybe start out. Tony ended up being sick the last couple of weeks on and off, so he's still getting better, but I'm sure once he gets back, we'll be getting back to those Marvel shows, and we still need to kind of talk about the WandaVision finale too. So yeah, I can safely say that there will be another one of those streams at some point, just maybe not week to week.
I haven't done any WandaVision, and I haven't done The Falcon and the Snowman.
I don't think you'd like WandaVision, but I haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier yet, but I have a feeling you'd like that.
Winter Soldier, Snowman.
The Winter. That reminds me of another show people have been telling me to watch. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Snowpiercers.
No, I will not watch it. I love Jennifer Connelly since Labyrinth, and of course, one of my favorite all-time movie scenes in quotes. which we got to live through.
Yes, we did.
But I will not watch Snowpiercer.
Okay, weird.
That was a horrible fucking movie. I don't understand. Yes, the entire world is frozen except our fucking train, because I'm a genius and I can make a train work in all the frozenness, but nothing fucking else.
I've had a few people tell me to watch it, so I was wondering if you had given it a
try. Watch, man. Watch was fun. It was fun. It wasn't awesome. It wasn't great or spectacular. It was fun. It was a good, like, 4 or 5 hours. You're not going to feel like you're wasted.
Fair.
When you sit down on your couch, everybody, and you're like, I wish I had something to watch. There's nothing on. Flip. Check out
Ian says watch The Inhumans. Okay, so Joe, before we get off this and before we start to call this, what would be your general review number? Like, we don't even have a score system. But what's your grade for this Justice League Snyder cut? Did the aspect ratio bother you at all?
No. I thought it was going to at first when they were like, this is shown in 4:3 to preserve. I was like, oh, fuck. And then it came up and I was like, fuck, sidebars. I didn't think about it again right after that. Not once did it enter my
Yeah, thoughts. I lost track of it after a while too. It didn't really bother me.
It was immediate for me. It was right after like the dun 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 dun. It was gone.
We also come from an age where our first TV was all like that. So
all that.
So
my TV in my bedroom is still 4:3.
Right. So our
sidebars.
Our brains autocorrect to it a little bit more natural than maybe people that grew up with nothing but widescreen aspect ratio stuff. Like, I could see somebody that never has seen or I'm not gonna say never, but has grown up in a world where they've only seen widescreen television formats, maybe being a little bit more put off by it than us who grew up with, these worse than just 4:3. You'd be lucky sometimes with V-hold if you could get 4:3. Remember trying to get the V-hold stuff?
Apparently, CRT TVs, these tube TVs, like the one in my bedroom, they're big bucks now.
Yeah,
they're not manufactured anymore, and they're better for gaming.
Certain
old school gaming.
Certain old school games you can only play on them, like the light gun games and some other Atari systems.
I'm thinking I've been thinking about buying a TV. I might sell this one. I mean, it cost me like $300-400 when I bought it. It's still in fucking perfect working order. Anybody wants to buy it for $700, I'll be more than happy. It's an antique.
You can check out Joe's.
It's probably older than some of the kids that are gonna fucking want to buy it.
Check out Joe's OnlyFans for links to that. But yeah, Justice League. I would say it's the best version of the Snyder movie you could hope for in the good edit. But if you I was gonna do the Dr. Cox. If you really didn't like 2017, just because you hate this universe and you hate Man of Steel and you hated Superman versus Batman versus Superman, all that sort of shit, I don't think you're gonna tremendously like this movie. But like, if you're somewhat warm to the Snyderverse and open to all this stuff, and
it's an 8,
and you just hated like the way that the first Justice League movie was kind of edited because it felt fast and it felt like shit was missing, you'll love this.
If you hated the first one, you're going to love this one. If you loved the first one, you're going to hate the first one. That's what this movie is going to do for you. This movie, the first one landed somewhere around a 5 for me. Like, I had those aspects of it I really liked originally. There was things about it that I was like, what the fuck? Come on now. Like that fight scene with Superman is in the original, and it's great, right? Where they fight when he first wakes up.
Oh, it's amazing.
So there's things about the movie that you liked the first time, but ultimately the movie sucked in 17. This movie is not the same movie. It has some of the same scenes.
It's the same.
But it is not the same movie.
It's the same plot of a movie, but it's not the same movie.
It's not even like the plot is the same, but like
some of the scenes are the same. Some,
but like they took out a good 30 minutes of this movie
and
replaced it with an hour and a half, 2 hours of other 2.5 hours of other movie. Exactly. That you haven't seen. you're going to be like, I don't remember this from the first movie because you didn't see it in the first movie. Zack Snyder shot all this shit, and then this other guy came in and was like, I'm going to Wheaton the fuck out of it.
And he opened his asshole and
Shaft that fucker.
And he Wheatoned his shit all over that stuff. And he took out scenes he didn't need to take out. There was like some stuff that he took out that he just didn't need to. It's ridiculous. It's awful. And
well, he took it out because it was already reaching 4 hours.
Yeah. It's true.
It didn't, and
he's
whatever he took out that he didn't need to be
The
there.
story that I need to tell can only be 2 hours.
In fairness, the studio probably said to him, you need to come in under 2 hours. So do it. And he did it. But definitely check it out if you're at all interested in it. Check out the Justice League. It's on HBO Now, Go, whatever it's called now, HBO Max. And it's the first of a couple of big releases that's coming on HBO Max. I think the next one is King Kong versus Godzilla on the 31st.
The next thing I want to see is that Better Call Saul movie that's in the theater, the Odenkirk movie.
Oh yeah, that does look interesting. I'm definitely interested.
I saw the preview for that shit, dude.
And
I want to see that. I'm not gonna go to the theater to see it. Sorry, Bob. They should have just did what everybody else is gonna do and put that shit straight on streaming.
Yeah, fuck theaters. Silas,
right? Like seriously, fuck theaters.
And
fuck
not-
$20 to go sit
Yeah,
next to four
we're not
sweaty
talking-
ass people.
We're not talking about anything else, like aside or anything else. I'm pretty sure Joe is vaccinated at the moment. It's like
I am.
We wouldn't go in. I don't pay $20 to go into a movie theater.
It has to be a special. One of the last times I did it was to go see an actor who I hadn't seen in a theater in a long time, who portrayed one of the best comic book Batman ever, and the movie absolutely fucking sucks.
We're not getting into the Birdman argument again, you asshole.
Oh, piece
Shut
of
up.
shit.
Amazing
fucking
movie.
What a waste
You
of
Philistine
money.
asshole. You just don't respect good art. You don't like.
That was
Bird-
not artistic, dude. That was
Fuck
not
your mother.
Artistic.
No.
That was a lame.
I'm sorry.
dog.
I have to officially apologize. I love Kathy. Don't fuck your mother. Eat fucking shit. Fuck you. It's good.
That's not good. That movie was trash.
Your-
That was trash.
your
It belongs
opinion-
on
your
the
opinion-
cutting room floor
your
with the rest
opinion
of
on
that
it's
fucking
trash.
material from Justice League.
Your opinion on it's trash. Zombie Man says I'm going to see the Odenkirk movie. Ian Throne says say hi to Bill Gates, Joe. And Silas never mentions his wife ever. And okay, so one more thing before we go, Joe. I have heard talks and rumblings in some of my Star Trek geek community circle groups that there are possible discussions on not a spin-off series but a Babylon 5 movie, that there is somewhere in the works at the moment. Nothing's real quite yet, but there is a script.
A movie's not going to work. It's too big.
It's circled but that's what you're going to get.
It doesn't need to be 20 episode seasons like it was, back when it originally aired, right? It doesn't need to be that. But because there was a lot of like just Star Trek-y one-off episodes of shit that familiarize you with the universe and stuff and get you to know everything about what's going on, right? Like, it's a series, but as a movie, it's going to lose so much flavor, so much of the character elements that are really needed to make the story itself
And
work.
again, I know nothing is confirmed. I've just heard rumblings that there's discussions and scripts being batted around. I'll try to find some sources for this before I throw this out like a stupid fucking...
Like, it could still be a 5-season thing, 10 episodes that just tell the macro story and leave out a lot of the fluff.
With the successes of things like The Expanse and the remakes, the remake on Netflix of what do you call it? The fucking
Battlestar.
Battlestar and Lost in Space. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some sort of Amazon, Netflix, HBO, whoever's in charge of the rights of it, producing a short series. But I think as of right now, the idea has been talked about, not in the theater movie, but a sort of 90-minute, 2-hour return pilot essentially movie thing of Babylon 5 that could lead to other things if it's well received.
I hope so.
So we'll see. Tim F in the live chat, we need 7 seasons in a movie.
And it could be they could even do like more than 5 seasons with Babylon 5.
Yeah. So Joe, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We will be back with Joe in 2 weeks if I'm not able to meet up with Joe randomly for something else, but probably be back 2 weeks from tonight with Joe talking about Here's Negan and obviously some other silly stuff. And then we're going to keep on this because Joe generally has every other Sunday off. So we're going to keep, even after the Game of Thrones season, still do every other Sunday with Joe. We'll just pick topics. Maybe we'll do some random movie reviews. And
after the Game of Thrones season.
Did I say Game of Thrones? After the Walking Dead season. Because I was going to say the first one of those that we're going to do is going to be a Game of Thrones one where we talk about the 7 or 8 spin-offs that they've announced.
I know, they're already up to 3 now. They were like, we have 3, we're going to decide on which one. We picked one. Now we have 3.
No, and Joe, they announced 3 more. So 2 weeks from the Negan episode, Joe and I will do a Game of Thrones spin-off podcast for our first of our just Sunday Night Live stuff after The Walking Dead is over. So for the next couple of weeks on Sunday nights, next week we'll have The Walking David. Then we'll have Joe on the following week to talk about the final episode of The Walking Dead of the season 10. Then the following week after that, I'll be on for some random bullshit, or maybe get Tony on for something. And then the week after that, Joe and I will be doing something Game of Thrones. What was that? I listened for hours, but they keep talking about something called Babylon 5 Bill Burr after he bugged Skinny Pete and Badger. Half the actors are already dead.
No, they are.
Bobby
Furrow,
Bobby Wheeler.
Lost, Bobby Wheeler. Yep. And Jakar, who's also in a bunch of Star Trek episodes.
Jeffrey Combs is still alive,
the Captain Sinclair. Yeah, dude. Veer from St. Elmo's, not St. Elsewhere. He's dead. There a lot of them. A lot, yeah.
Great show, St. Elsewhere. Which Ernie Hudson got one of his starts on. I did. But St. Elsewhere is a great show, and Howie Mandel not being funny. One of my favorite episodes of St. Elsewhere is when Howie Mandel dies and he goes to the different parts of the afterlife. He goes to heaven and hell, and the middle one of purgatory. So, Joe, thank you for dealing with this Walking Dead episode with me, and good Justice League discussion at the end. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Anyone that's sticking around, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Joe, would you watch the animated series Young Justice?
I watched the first season, I believe.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? I'm just giving it a shot right now. It's good. It's good. Good quality.
It was okay. I think I watched it on your recommendation like a year ago, SM. I wasn't like, this is the best. It's still for kids.
Yeah. No, I'm generally enjoying about it. Oh, we got the Fallen Blade in the live chat. Wayun, yep. I only watch the Expanse, and Brunt, Changa. I only watch the Expanse constantly. Expanse. There's literally a Bab 5 movie, not good. We need more than that. And great to see all of our folks popping on in here tonight. We will be back next Sunday and pretty much every Sunday from now on for a while. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys have been amazing. And Changa says Young Justice is great.
No, it's not. It's good for what it is. Like, as far as like an animated comic book show, like it's good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's good.
It's good. And I'm going to talk about that more as well as I think I might do a whole show about all the animated DC shows and rank them all and talk about them all and have people defend them and talk about some of their favorites, because there's a lot of really great ones. Young Justice fits in there with Justice League Unlimited, Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Static Shock. Like, I know they're not all made by the same people, but they're all some of the highest quality superhero animated stuff ever produced. Batman Beyond is another one. Batman Beyond might be my favorite of all of them. I love those first two, the first season especially, the first 2 seasons.
Oh no, Batman Beyond, yeah. I was thinking of the HBO movies.
Yeah, no, you actually, I think I believe you. That's why I was surprised for a second, because I want to say you're the one that got me into Batman Beyond. Like initially, like I remember watching it at your house and back in the day. Watch seasons 2 and 3. It's more adult. I will. Cadigan, I hate working Sundays. I keep missing on you, lovely gentlemen, but I'm glad you were able to pop on in here right now, Cadigan. And all you missed was falling asleep trying to watch this episode of The Walking Dead in our random Justice League discussion. But I know Joe's got to go, so I'm going to let him go. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace.
Yes, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend, all that fucking shit. We'll be back. Okay, we're good.